Yeah, what's up, everybody? Another episode of QnCOLB. Y'all know what we're gonna talk about first, right? We brought him home. We did this. Look, sometimes I feel like Andrew Berry watches this show. Sometimes I feel like he is a viewer of the products. This is why, because nobody else. Like I remember, what was it? Chops was on Twitter. Like I have not heard anybody talk about Jameis Winston to the Browns. And I'm like, oh, all right, Chops. I know you don't watch the show. It's all good. It's all good, But we've been talking about this since the regular season. Remember, we were talking about this the second Jameis ran that thing in to get his homeboy the touchdown to get that contract and set up. We was like, that's the kind of man we need in Cleveland right there. Look, it's gonna be a real serious year. There's gonna be real high expectations. You need somebody to break that edge off. You know what I mean? Like you need somebody to kill the tension in the room. Dude's gonna be stressed. They trying to win a championship this year. We need somebody to, add some levity to this. And Jameis is gonna do that. Yes. Yes.
Hey, bro. I seen Browns fans already like posting clips from last season of just Jameis just being Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's what the locker room needed, man. That's what Joe's not giving you none of that. He ain't giving you none of that in the locker room.
Joe from the east side of the country, right? He's from the East Coast. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Jameis too. Jameis is country. Deshaun Watson is country. Nick Chubb is country. They gonna get along, dog. Oh, and by the way, don't nothing country dudes love more than South Florida motherfuckers. Like them Spades games that the Browns are about to play in that clubhouse, because now it's a clubhouse. You bring in a bunch of country motherfuckers like that, it's a clubhouse now. It's no longer a locker room. They got a clubhouse. They gonna be playing Spades in that clubhouse. It's gonna be Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson. I mean, Jameis Winston, huh?
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy gonna be the young blood, getting all that game from Jameis and Deshaun.
Hey, bro.
That locker room gonna smell like cigarettes now, dog.
Oh my
cigarettes
God.
and good times. It's gonna smell like the good old days when you walk in there.
Hey man, I couldn't believe it. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the notification, the first thing I did. I was like, "Hey man, it's no way we manifested Jameis to the Browns in real life."
Hey,
ooh, there's no way we did.
We gotta start calling this show the spoiler warning, because we just be saying shit before it actually happens. Like, I'm sorry, I spoiled the Jameis Winston. We spoiled the Jameis Winston, the Cleveland thing, but we saw it coming. It makes sense from a certain point of view. And that's the point of view that you get on this show, right? Everybody else is telling you why the Browns need to bring back Joe Flacco because the fans love Joe Flacco. And we was like, it's Joe Flacco with extra vibes that fits. Jameis Winston, baby. Jameis Winston. You want somebody who could throw for 300 in the case that Deshaun Watson gets out? Hey, let me tell you, you got your man in Jameis Winston. He threw for 5,000. He also threw for 30 touchdowns. Also threw 30 interceptions. Hey, but we was living that life last year anyways.
That's the thing about it, though. That's the thing about it with all the people who are angry and upset that we have Jameis now. I feel like people just forget that Joe Flacco threw 4 pick sixes in 6 games.
Including 2 of them bitches the last time we saw him play. How can you forget? Yeah, like what are you talking about? Wait,
in a playoff game.
People, yeah. Oh, by the way, people bring up that playoff game like, oh yeah, well, how can you think the Browns gonna be good? They got blowed out by Houston. They're clearly in a different class. I'm like, yeah, because Joe Flacco was playing quarterback in a fucking playoff game in 2023. It didn't go well. Obviously, like he threw 2 pick sixes. The Browns probably would have been in that game.
Oh, they 100%. Can we talk about that? Because we never talk about that. We never talk about how
we don't ever talk about
line.
that. He threw you out 2 games this year, by the way. Like, no disrespect to Joe. He did some really good stuff in between that first game and in between that last game. But we can't act like the bullshit at the end and the start did not happen. He threw you out of that LA Rams game. By the way, Mary Kay gave the game away because he had that fourth quarter, got sacked for a safety, and she wrote dazzling start by Joe Flacco. I'm like, oh, you're not even gonna act like this ain't what it is, right? Like we just gonna go all the way. We just doing this, huh? Like I'm gonna look crazy because I'm actually talking about what happened. Okay. He was responsible for 9 points on the other team, but we go dazzling. And then Joe Flacco threw them 2 pick sixes. It was all about Jim Schwartz. I'm like, how the fuck is that Jim Schwartz for? Like, he could have had a better game plan for sure, but CJ Stroud, they acted like we got beat by CJ Beathard. It was CJ Stroud. Like, he was balling. Like, what the fuck you want him to do? You know what I want the quarterback to do? Not throw 2 pick sixes when you down 3.
In a row. In a row.
When you're on the 20-yard line about to score, you're only down by like 4 points.
Back to back, like he threw that first one and it hurt, and he made sure you didn't have hope the rest of the game, so he threw that second one just so y'all know. Oh yeah, it's over. I left the bar immediately after that second pick six. I was like, oh,
no, he went for 4th down and then like didn't get it too. Like remember that those 3 drives happened back to back to back. We never talk about it. And then people got the nerve to sit here and be like, well, Quincy, I just don't think this Jameis thing could work out. He throws too many interceptions. One, what the fuck are people like? He's a backup quarterback, man. Like, one, he gonna do too much of something. He's a backup. If he didn't do too much of something, he would be somebody's starter.
And the second thing that pisses me off, do people just forget what happened this past season? Like, they won games with PJ Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Everybody is sitting here telling me how important backup quarterback is. I'm like, literally, we watched last year. If the defense is that good, it don't fucking matter. It don't. PJ Walker beat the 49ers, Cole.
And they beat the Colts. Yes. Two important wins that they actually really needed.
Not just beat the Colts, by the way, Cole. Came back to beat the Colts, okay?
I think we're going to be all right, man. We probably going to be all right.
You know what's your backup quarterback plan? Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper. That's what's gonna hold you over if the quarterback get hurt. Jameis knows it too. Did you see that statement that Jameis Winston put out there where he was like, "Hey, look, man, God want me to help Deshaun Watson."
Hey, even his statements are hilarious.
Like Jameis has reached the status where you read everything he says and you hear Jameis Winston. Like you hear him when you read it. Like
you read that statement in his voice 100%. Because I was just like, why would you say that God wants you to help Deshaun Watson with Why would you say that?
There are certain PR things that Jameis Winston has experience in that could maybe help out Deshaun Watson. He would let me teach you how to navigate this, brother.
Oh my God, man.
Hey, it's gonna be a good ass country time in that Cleveland Browns locker room. Let's not forget Myles Garrett from the middle of Texas. like all that anime got you fooled. That man like a bonfire. Okay, like
you can like anime and bonfires too.
Yeah. He not no city slicker. Okay.
You did not just say city slicker on this.
He not no city slicker. Hey, you know who about to have a good ass time out there in the middle of West Virginia where they got that racist hotel? Well, it's not a racist hotel. It just looks racist when you look at it. Like you just look at it and you just see prejudice. In Greenbrier, like, you ever look at the rooms in Greenbrier?
I have not looked at the
Okay, let's do this together. Go on Google right now and search Greenbrier Hotel.
Oh, Lord.
I promise you, it's greenbrier.com. And see what one of them rooms look like and tell me you don't feel like that shit feels racist if you stand in it.
Hold on. Let me look. Okay, so the Greenbrier Luxury Resort, West Virginia.
Yes.
Okay, discover life as a few. No, okay. I like the little video. Okay, so we seeing the outside. You know what I'm saying?
No. The outside's cool. Look at the inside.
Okay, I'm trying to look at these rooms. I'm trying to look at. Oh.
You would feel like you got to get out, right? Like. Did I describe those rooms inaccurately?
Get plantation vibes for sure. You know what I'm saying?
I walk into that room, I walk out. No, get me like a Hampton Inn and Suites immediately. I don't need this. Look like segregation in this. No.
That would feel like a trap. I would feel like I'm being trapped. Like,
what is
trying to capture me?
What in the Jordan Peele is going on in here? Like,
nope, can't do that.
One of the things. It's one of the things on top of many that make me wonder what Deshaun Watson is actually like as a person, because he likes this shit, and I'm like, why do you like this?
Hey, man, we are absolutely not try to go down that road and try to answer that question. Hey. we not trying to do that.
I just feel like, what?
Because nothing about what I just saw is something that I would like. I'd be like, nah.
No. But again, Cole, we got to be fair. We some city slickers. We some city folk. You know, we them fast talking city people up here. Jameis might like this. He like, oh, they got fireplace. You know, like. Look, he gonna have the team bonding in Greenbrier is gonna be insane, dog.
Nah, these rooms are crazy, dog. Hold on, no, we can't just skip past this.
Oh, these rooms? Like, no, they're nuts,
dog. And they got the rooms called the superior rooms. Look, dog. Let me tell you something.
You see this Easter bunny they got on the website? This shit is scary.
No, that's terrifying. That is terrifying.
Jordan Peele. I got the location for your next movie.
It's terrifying to us. I don't know about everybody in the comments, everybody who listens to us. It's terrifying to me.
Well, listen, Roy Wood Jr. had a great joke about this. He's like, there's forefathers and there's ancestors. And this is a great place to talk about your forefathers, right? But the ancestors don't want nothing to do with this place, dog. I get very bad vibes from the ancestors. Maybe your forefathers might like this. Greg, have you seen Greenbrier?
I'm looking at the rooms right now.
They look cozy to you?
They're different. They're different. I'll give them that. I see what you mean. They're very old school.
Old school is the way to put it.
I feel like they took down segregation signs very recently. I'm like, I get there like, why are there 2 water fountains?
If there's any black people who work in there, I know they be calling.
That would make me so uncomfortable, man. No,
like, you know when they come like try to like take care of you, something like you need some boss, like something like you can.
Oh no!
You can
I just looked at this Easter Bunny picture.
Yeah,
this does look like something out of a horror movie.
Tell you, man, absolutely not.
Hey, now we know who gonna enjoy it, right? Now we got to think about who gonna enjoy this shit the least. Jerry Jeudy, okay.
Jerry gonna be like, hey, what the fuck y'all got me saying?
He's gonna be walking in that lobby with designer on, like, what the fuck is this? Jerry Jeudy, DTR, and Cedric Tillman about to bond, okay? They about to go to Dave & Buster's just to see what technology feel like again. I feel like you still get a CRT if you go there. And it's like in the cabinet. You got to open up the cabinet to see the television.
Oh, no, man.
Nah, that's crazy.
I couldn't do it.
I smell like horse shit. Like, dog. No, I'm good. I'm so
Get the horse shit.
I was like, maybe I could get a medium pass and go to Greenbrier and stay at the hotel and get that whole experience. I looked at them rules. Well, fuck that. Nope. No.
Hell no, man.
Absolutely will not voluntarily send my no. Come back on here. Welcome to QnCOLB.
Be our last fucking pod.
They have a history section on their website.
Oh no, let me look at this.
Tell me this first sentence doesn't sound suspicious. Founded in 1778, the resort's early days were marked as its role as a natural...
17 what?
1778.
This shit is old as the country? This shit older than freedom? This shit is older than the Constitution. Get me the fuck out of here. Hell no. Hell no, dog.
Oh no, man.
Its early days were marked by its role as a natural healing oasis. Whatever that means.
Well, I don't know what that means, but I know that we were a part of it. Okay, I
feel like we wasn't the healing part either. I feel like we wasn't the healing part.
I feel like we were part of the recipe. I don't know what kind of recipe it was, but I feel like free labor was involved somewhere in that business model. Like
1778, dog. Absolutely not.
1778. You talk about that shit was built during the revolution? Get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely not.
Like, George Washington was breathing air when that shit got built. Get out of here, dog. No, I don't. I stayed in an old hotel in Chicago once. It was built like in the 1800s. Oh, I wanted to get the fuck out of there so bad, dog. Oh my god, it gave me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. No,
man. Nah. 1778, the Underground Railroad probably tried to avoid that motherfucker too. You didn't think about it, man.
Was it an ally?
I doubt it. West Virginia.
Was it founded by Quakers? Quakers weren't. Look, when they built that fucking hotel, Quakers weren't an oatmeal. It was an actual religion that people did. Like that's how fucking old that hotel is.
Bro, can you imagine Harriet Tubman seeing that and be like, nope. Absolutely not.
We talked about, hey dog, ancestors, forefathers. That is a place for your forefathers. Okay. What podcast do you know could get derailed for 10 minutes talking about Jameis Winston? Talking about Greenbrier.
Let's be honest. This is what people came for.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't come here for EPA per play.
No, hey, Mike Rodriguez said there's a quote that says, "Discover life as few know it." Jesus Christ.
Hey man, why does Deshaun like this, dog? Why is he like this, man?
Like, what about this makes you want to be there? There's nothing appealing about this place to me.
I look at all these pictures, I'm like, there's nothing that makes me want to go here. There is nothing that makes me want to go here, dog. I'm looking at the food and I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? Like,
maybe he likes history. They got a history section that says, before the Civil War, the resort hosted 5 sitting presidents. And apparently during
before the Civil War, it hosted 5 sitting presidents. So that was like 50%. They were hitting like 50% of all. There were like 10 before Abe Lincoln.
So we hosted all the slave owners. You know what I'm saying?
We had John Quincy Adams in this motherfucker.
Again, what about this is appealing? The more we learn, the worse it seems.
Look, there were some acronyms that I don't want to search in association with that property. I don't know what other meetings they were having on there. They had fucking McKinley in that mother. I bet they got the toilet bowl, you know, like the bathtubs that ain't connected to nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely got that shit in there. It freaks me out. Nothing freaks me out more than involuntary time travel, and that shit feel like involuntary. Get that fucking you look like the kind of place you get like 3G.
Man, you know you would have. I know I would have crazy nightmares in there, but it wouldn't even feel like nightmares. Feel like visions.
There's
like,
I keep skimming through this website. There's like every time there's a big war, something seems to be happening at this hotel. During the Civil War, it closed down for the entire Civil War, and then during World War II, the U.S. State Department leased out the hotel and was housing diplomats there.
Why are we trying to go here, bro? The more we learn, the less I get it. It's just like, why are we trying to go here?
I ever tell you guys about one of the most unfortunate coincidences in orientations that I've ever had in my life? Oh yeah, so. Dig in. This is a good story. I know we're supposed to be talking about Jameis, but y'all go like this. So back when I was doing acting out of college, I accepted my first professional job at a place called Tecumseh Outdoor Theater. Some of y'all might have heard about it. It's done in Chillicothe. It's a Cowboys versus Indian show. It's basically about Tecumseh, who's a Native American general who tried to get his guys free in like the Indiana, Ohio properties, right? So my first day for this show, and mind you, the year before, they were just casting white dudes and painting them in red face. So like they got backlash for that. They decided to hire some actors of color, you know. So I got the job, you know. So I get the job there, right? It's me. You know how it is. We in Chillicothe, Ohio. It ain't that different from Mississippi. We find all the black people and we gonna stay in a group. So me and the group go there and we're like, okay, where's this orientation at? They're like, we're gonna take a tour first before the orientation starts. They toured us through what can pretty easily, like it's not technically, but it could pretty easily be described as a plantation. They showed us slave quarters. Mm-hmm. Yep. They toured us through a plantation on the first. And guess what, Cole? It set the tone. When we got to the compound, you know what we found out there was? 2 locker rooms for the men. Oh, that's interesting. There was the white man locker room and there was the Shawnee locker room. Okay. I guess that worked fine when everybody was white working at the show. But boy, did it have certain implications. Like,
they had you in the colored locker room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, racism ain't supposed to be funny, but dog.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm out here thinking we got to a certain point in Cleveland and Youngstown. I went to Chillicothe, Ohio. You know, I got pulled over for turning into a Walmart. I was like, dog, it's the 1940s in this motherfucker, dog. Like, this is nuts. Martin Luther King never happened here. Like it was, I was like, oh, this is Ohio. Like, this is nuts. Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Hey man, we got free agency stuff happening. We got to. I promise, y'all. Yeah. I promise we're gonna talk about it. But I'm sorry.
So imagine being Jerry Jeudy in your first trip with the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun, like, hey, bro, it's gonna be lit, man. I love going here. This is so cool. All right. Then you get there and you like, this is a Jordan Peele movie, man. No. This is Lovecraft Country. No.
I just read, I'm sorry, there's one more thing about the Greenbrier. I'm just going to read this to you guys, and I want you to react to this. They also were very active during the Cold War for some reason. And this quote is, as the Cold War era came to a close, a significant moment in the Greenbrier's history unfolded when an expose on the Washington Post revealed the existence of a secret bunker in 1992. Since then, guided tours of this secret underground facility have added a unique and captivating layer to the Greenbrier experience, allowing visitors to delve into the intriguing history hidden beneath its grounds. There's just a secret underground layer there nobody knew about, apparently.
Did they have a secret underground layer and Get Out?
They did.
I feel like Jordan Peele stayed here, was like, nah, I gotta write a movie about this shit. But he didn't even want to go back, so he said it somewhere else.
Hey man,
Hey,
I
dog.
hope the Browns wasn't trying to invite us to the Greenbrier.
They not.
We ain't going.
I will see you in Berea.
Absolutely.
They got Motel 6 and Chipotle. Like they got regular hotels. I know. They got a Hilton. You know, like.
Hey man, let's get to these super chats real quick so we can actually talk about what the Browns are doing.
I can start us at the top here. We got Ray Rags. Do you think signing Justin Madubuike for $98 million was worth losing Pat Queen to the Steelers?
Two things. First of all, the linebacker market is not that great. Just looking at some of these deals, which honestly should be a good thing for the Browns as far as trying to re-sign JOK. That should actually probably benefit the Browns a whole bunch. But I think Madubuike is way more important to the Baltimore Ravens than Pat Queen is. Like way more important. Way more important.
Is he?
Ooh. You saying Pat Queen's? You saying Pat Queen's the one that make it go?
I'm just saying we're gonna find out about Roquan Smith this year. You know, is he finally gonna be the most impactful linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens this year, or is he gonna keep getting flanked by like Trenton Simpson or some bullshit like that? We'll find out. You know, Roquan. You know, we'll see where Roquan's at because you know all that tackle for loss that came from Pat Queen. Now they tell me that's because Roquan freed it up. Now that Roquan don't gotta free nothing up for somebody, like you know, he should be very productive this year. We'll see what Roquan does though.
All right, we got Christian Corley. This is when you were talking about Joe Flacco. I had the displeasure of watching those pick sixes from the top decks of NRG. Shit was sad.
Hey, there's nothing worse than watching your team get their ass kicked in the cheap seats because you can see it all before it happens, right? Like you can see all the missed opportunities. Like you ever hear the crowd get real loud for no reason and then the ball gets incomplete and then you hear, it's because they saw it. They saw it, right? They saw a touchdown was on the board and they saw that you completely sold it. The Desmond Ridder experience. Like
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I watched that playoff game at there's a Browns backer bar in Hollywood called St. Felix, and this was the first time they ever showed a Browns playoff game because in 2020 they were closed for COVID, and I've never seen such a hyped bar to watch a sporting event, and then at the flip side, I've never seen like the air sucked out of a room so fast before.
Yep.
Anyway. On to the good times from Ray Rags. JOK single-handedly gave the Browns a chance by getting 2 stops on the Texans' first drive in the second half. And Joe Flacco said, I'm going to take the game out of your hands, JOK.
And JOK was still balling after that. Like, that's the thing that's crazy. Joe Flacco did that, and JOK was still balling. And people just like, look, man, that's the nature of goodwill. People will forget anything if they like you. Like... because people act like that shit did not happen. Like those are tip ball interceptions. No, dog. Those went straight into the hands of defensive backs. Like that wasn't even like maybe he miscommunicated. Like, because some of his interceptions during the year were kind of like, that was a tip ball. That was at the end of the second half. He ran the wrong route. No, both the pick sixes were Joe Flacco's fault.
Mm-hmm.
If people, in a playoff game, if people have let it go immediately to the point to where, dog, people weren't even talking about this shit after the game. I remember bringing it up. People were like, see, you're hating on Joe Flacco. I'm like, what?
Bro, I couldn't believe it. That first one was the one that killed me, bro. Because I was like,
we were on the 20.
We were literally about to score. I was like, we're about to be a game again. It's about to be a game again. And then sold it.
And then came back and was like, let me put some more sauce on that. Had to hear about playoff Joe Flacco, all this shit. He's never lost in the wild card round. He's one of the clutchest quarterbacks. I got that comment a lot too on my channel. He's one of the clutchest quarterbacks of all time, Quincy. What are you talking about Joe Flacco's reputation? Okay.
What they do at the end?
What? They was just yapping. I'm like, all right, man, you high on that Flacco? I'll let you come down. And Joe Flacco was like, nah, let me do it. Hey, man, if any other quarterback throws them interceptions, dog, like we would never let Baker Mayfield slide for such a thing. Never, ever, in any circumstance. People were mad at Jacoby Brissett after he threw a game-winning, had a game-winning drive against the Panthers simply because it shouldn't have came down to that. Remember that? When people was like hating on Jacoby Brissett still, like before they started to love him. By the way, everybody that's mad about Jameis, y'all gonna love that motherfucker. Like, y'all gonna love him. By the time we get to September, y'all gonna be Jameis fans. And y'all gonna be wearing the Jameis jerseys. And if Deshaun Watson has an ass game, y'all gonna be in that crowd like y'all did for DTR in week 2 of this season, chanting Jameis. Okay? Like, let's be real. The energy is not for the backup quarterback. It is against the starter. Like, that is where this energy is coming from.
All right, we got Mike C. Rodriguez. Browns on Hard Knocks this season. I'm here for it.
Is that happening?
No, I think it's just question like if it was on Hard Knocks.
I don't even think they're eligible because I think if you made the playoffs, you're not eligible to be on Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't have to be on Hard Knocks.
You don't have to. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Be worth it just to see Jameis Winston react to Greenbrier. Want to know what that's like? Browns, get a camera on that and don't you dare censor it. Nah. I want to hear him say unflattering things about the property.
I think we all want to hear it at this point.
You're like, what the hell they got going on here? But here's the thing. He's from Bessemer, Alabama. Same way to Georgia. Deshaun's from Lawrenceville, Georgia, or some shit like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, he from Georgia. Right? I know they say he from Atlanta. If you make it, you're from Atlanta. If you don't, you from Georgia. That man from Georgia, and he played at Clemson. We forget that is a country man right there. Jameis Winston. What he do? He said, "Hey man, Tuscaloosa too big of a situation for me. I'm gonna go down to Tallahassee." Okay, like that's what Jameis on, dog. I'm just saying, look, Jameis gonna love it. He gonna commute to Cleveland. He gonna stay in like Akron or something like that. Like he gonna get out the city and be all the way in the sticks and be like, yeah, man, I can shoot in the forest in the morning, some shit like that.
So he try to be like an Avon, like out just like, hey, I'm chilling.
Mm-hmm. Like wherever they got skeet shooting, Jameis will be there. Okay, like.
We got 2 more here. Captain Fierce says, breaking news, Browns re-signing Shelby Harris, DT.
Let's go.
Good move. That's a good move.
And then I wanted to save this one for the end because I feel like it could lead into a bigger conversation here about Russ. But which fan base is more delusional at this moment? Pitt with Russell thinking he going to bring them back to glory, or Cincy thinking they can keep the Migos for much longer?
Do fans really think that? Do they really think they can keep? I feel like they've accepted that they're not going to be able to keep all of them together.
At least the Cincinnati Bengals have like the side of, okay, we are a winning football team, so maybe they want to stay on that because we're good. Pittsburgh ain't got no good reason to think this Russell Wilson thing gonna work. Like, there's not a single good reason. I've heard all the reasons, and look, I've said this on Twitter. I'll say it again. Signing Russell Wilson, like right now in March, it's going to feel like the best idea that it ever will feel like. Because the problem with Russ ain't the numbers. That wasn't what Pete Carroll got sick of in Seattle, was the numbers. Hey, what they got sick of in Denver, he threw 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and they decided, we'll pay $82 million to get the fuck out of here. They are paying for Russell Wilson to play for the Steelers. They're paying $39 million this year for Russell Wilson to play for the Steelers. Hey, dog, that tells me a lot. I'm sorry. That tells me a lot. Like, when you're that disliked, that Like, you played good football. You can do anything you want as long as you put up numbers. He put up numbers, and they still was like, no. We see through this mirage.
Everybody I know that really watches football, like breaks down football, is like, hey man, people can shout the numbers at me till they blue in the face. I watched him play football. It's not gonna go the way they think it's gonna go, man. It's not gonna go the way they think it's gonna go.
Here's where I also added. People will hit me with he's better than Kenny Pickett. And that's true. He's better than Kenny Pickett.
He is.
But that doesn't mean that the team's going to be better with him at quarterback. And the reason I say that is because Russ ain't going to just do what Kenny Pickett does, but better. Russ going to do what Russ want to do, which means Russ going to throw that ball, which means Russ going to do Russ ball, which means Russ going to get you into some situations that only Russ could get you into. And this motherfucker is 35. He's looked cooked for 2 years, and now he's 35.
I thought he was 36. Or is he turning 36?
Who cares? He's old now. Like, he's old now. And I know people are like, well, he's going to compete with Kenny Pickett, and if he doesn't get the job, he's just going to say, get the fuck out of my face. The Steelers don't want to start Kenny. You know when Kenny Pickett lost the quarterback competition? When he was healthy. And they was like, nah, dog, we going to roll with the hot hand. Because they think that there's a world where Mason Rudolph can be better than you. And if that world exists for a dude you're considering to start, you don't got to start. I'm sorry. You know how I'll know it's done with Deshaun Watson? If Jameis Winston steps in for 2 games and has a hot couple games, and Kevin's like, nah, we gonna roll with Jameis. Okay, so we don't believe in Deshaun no more is what. All right, we're good. Because we rolling with Jameis. Like, that's what we about to do. They decided to do that with Mason Rudolph, who doesn't even hold a candle to Jameis Winston.
Oh,
yeah, man, they in trouble. Look, I understand Russ is not expensive. It's a low priority deal, and like on paper, this all makes sense. I give that to Pittsburgh fans. But the problem with Russ isn't the paper; it's the practice of it. Right? People don't like him. Now, here's where it could be a 4D chess move. Maybe they brought in Russ to bring the locker room together, because we heard all of the things, right, about how the Steelers locker room was fractured and there was a lot of infighting. Well, you know what solves infighting? You know what brings a community together? Hating on something bigger, right? And maybe the plan is the whole locker room is going to hate Russ so much that George Pickens has no choice but to accept his differences with Kenny Pickett and do what's right for business. I told you, if they brought in Russell Wilson, that there was going to be a scene where George Pickens is going to be standing firmly behind Kenny Pickett. As Kenny Pickett demands to start it, you're going to start a fucking coup, okay? And maybe they're like, we need a coup, right? Maybe that's what's going to bring us back together is a coup. Like, because I don't understand how this works out. Russ don't fit with Mike Tomlin. Like, why do I refuse to believe these two met and had a good interaction. Like, nothing about those two tells me that unless Russ was in here, I did see Russ had the taper on. Russ was out here pandering.
Pandering?
Look, pander god, Russell Wilson.
He was code switching. He had the code switch when he saw Mike.
He come on now. He not only code switch, he got a cut. You ever see Russ with a taper? That his choices were down to Atlanta and Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin. Tell me that taper was an accident. Tell me right now he just felt like getting that fucking taper. Tell me right now that you think
he met with the Giants too. He met with the Giants. You know what I'm saying?
Like a taper ain't gonna take you far places on the East Coast. Everybody do tapers on the East Coast. What you talking about? Everybody that you know that covers the Knicks got a taper. Stop playing with me, okay? It ain't even a cultural thing in New York. What you mean? Yes. He had Tim's in his back pocket. Like, I promise you, he was going to post something about some Tim's.
He came prepared.
And let me tell you, his corny ass going to bring out black Air Force Ones in his first Steeler game. Book it. Write it down. Yes.
100%.
Yeah, he 100%. Goes, all right, black Air Force One energy. And ruin the meme. But by the way, once Russ does it, it's dead. Like, it's dead. The meme is over.
Oh, man.
They signed Russ. I can't believe they signed Russ. That's such a Browns move. Like a pre-Stefanski Barry era Browns move is like, yeah, let's go take a shot on Russ. And you know how I know this is a Browns move? We did the same shit with RG3. Everybody forget that one, right? Everybody forget that one. When we got RG3, he was fresh off of being mistreated in Washington, right? Remember that? Remember that?
Mistreated.
Yeah. Remember that? Hey, by the way, when he talked to Jay Gruden, something there, right? But 100%. You know who wasn't going to fix it? Hugh Jackson. Okay? You know who I have no faith in fixing Russell Wilson? The Steelers' offensive operation. It's been ass since Le'Veon Bell went on them jet skis. It's been straight dookie. Boo-boo.
You don't believe it? You don't believe in Arthur Smith?
Oh, that's who they got there?
I'm pretty sure they got Arthur Smith.
Yeah, now. Arthur Smith, who nobody liked in Atlanta, by the way. like with Russell Wilson, who don't nobody like. Yeah, that's gonna work.
Maybe two negatives make a positive. You know what I'm saying? That's what we learned in school. That's what we learned in school.
This ain't mathematics. It's football, buddy. Like, no, that ain't happening. Nah. You know what two negatives make in a football locker room? Two motherfuckers people don't like. Okay? And they don't like each other. So they create drama. Like, oh man, Arthur Smith out here trying to run the Shanahan style with Russ, talking about Russ, you need to get to your third step and release this. And Russ sitting there with his taper on. I won a Super Bowl. What have you done? Like, you think Arthur Smith's unaccomplished ass gonna be the one who gets to Russ? Russ was out here waving off Pete Carroll. He ain't never expressed an ounce of remorse for throwing that ball in the Super Bowl, right? Marshawn Lynch right behind him. He has never said anything to say, hey man, I shouldn't have thrown it. He only thinks I should have threw it better. You think Arthur Smith, Steeler fans, go FedEx. That man go get to Russ. Maybe you do have a point. Since Arthur Smith's family is connected to FedEx in such an official way, Russ will see dollar signs in the networking opportunities with Arthur Smith in the future and try to leverage that relationship. So maybe Arthur Smith might get Russ's real number. Like, it sounds like a joke. I'm dead serious. Like, Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch got that bad number because they ain't calling about money. Okay. Russ gonna give Arthur Smith that number and be like, hey man, let me be clear with you. Don't ever call me here and talk about no damn football.
Hey, that's insane.
Am I wrong?
Absolutely not.
There's a super chat about this exact thing from Autistic Kid. Pickens might have to move to a new country after the practice with Russell Wilson. Also, Arthur Smith plus Russell Wilson might collapse every bridge in Pittsburgh.
Here's my prediction.
Go ahead.
Here's my prediction. George Pickens not going to have an issue with Russ.
No.
George Pickens going to have an issue with Arthur Smith. And I think there's a potential to have one of the oddest team-ups happen. George Pickens and Russell Wilson, right? It's going to be George Pickens and Russell Wilson versus Arthur Smith. They're going to win that battle at the beginning of the season, and then it's going to become evident to George Pickens that he needs to do the double turn, right?
He's going to have to stab Russ in the back.
Now get me Kenny. Because Kenny throw me that ball. Right?
Oh man, not the betrayal.
It's gonna be an anime story in that motherfucker. It's gonna be a whole season. Look, great for this lineup of quarterbacks that the AFC North has, by the way. Just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. It is perfect. You got Joe Burrow coming back off a wrist injury. You got Lamar Jackson wondering if that shit's phony or not, even though he's a 2-time MVP. You got Deshaun Watson in the numbers of ways that you could run with that storyline. Oh, and then you got Russ. And then let's just throw in a sprinkling of Jameis on top of that. Like, we get Jameis quotes in this division too. Oh man, I might make 5 videos a day. Fuck it. Like, like, woo! Can you imagine? Imagine. I can't wait. This is gonna be awesome. I can't wait for training camp, man. Oh, by the way, DTR, brother, just get through it, bro. It's gonna be 2 old men in there telling you how to live your life. Because what, Deshaun Watson's close to 30? And Jameis is 45 in mind. He don't understand what and DTR is as Gen Z gets. They don't understand these outfits he be coming to the shows in. Like they gonna be asking him all kind of questions about these fits and what does this mean and all this shit, this TikTok stuff. Like, oh man, DTR, brave through it, brother. It's gonna be a long season for you and Cedric.
We got another relevant super chat here from QnCOLB. Steelers. Matt Canada doesn't push the ball vertically, doesn't utilize his running backs, and too many jet sweeps. We need Arthur Smith.
Hey, man, Arthur Smith couldn't stop throwing the ball with Desmond Ridder. What you think he about to do with his twin?
Hey, no, the way he underutilized Bijan all season was crazy.
They got worse at running the ball. They had Cordero Patterson running that bitch the year before. And they bring in Bijan and got worse. It ain't like Bijan wasn't cold. Like, y'all watched Bijan Robinson this year. I was like, oh, this is what would have happened if Hugh Jackson never got fired. Like, he just wouldn't have used Nick Chubb the whole. We were like, man, I wonder what could have happened if we ran Nick Chubb more that first year. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't see it working. Look, I get why Steelers fans are excited because at this point, why not? Right? Why not? Even if Russ is good, you know you're not winning no Super Bowl. Russ ain't gonna beat no Pat Mahomes. So, like, you know what? Why not? Why couldn't it work? But if you're asking me, am I worried about the Steelers now that they have Russ? No, I'm excited. Because now Miles might get that sack championship too. Like, you get 2 games. I just hope he doesn't get benched before the Browns played him the second time. You know, like, you know, quarterbacks like that where you're like, man, I hope he's healthy.
Look, man, we're gonna see. I'm not worried about it personally. I'm not worried. Only team in the AFC North I'm really worried about is the Ravens. Like, that the consistent team that we usually be worried about, the Baltimore Ravens. That's the only one I'm worried about. That's it.
Let's talk about the Ravens. They got Derrick Henry. I've seen a lot of reactions to this. Now I'm on the other side of this. I'm on the other side of it. I ain't sweating this at all. And the reason I'm not sweating this is Derrick Henry got to play in the AFC North now at 30. It's a different type of wear and tear. Also, Derrick Henry, he gets downhill, he gets going, he's hard to tackle for sure. But if you get to him, like the Browns have the last 2 times they played Derrick Henry, and also keep in mind who's on the roster. Well, no, JOK was not on the roster at that point. But now you got JOK, Mr. Get to you before you get downhill, and Grant Delpit, who's also pretty good at that. I personally am not concerned. I actually think this is going to make him a worse matchup for the Browns because they might try to run the ball more. And every time they run the ball, I breathe a sigh of relief because don't nobody have better day. Look, don't nobody look more like a quarterback than Lamar Jackson versus the fucking Browns.
Oh man, it's still rough. I'm not gonna lie. When he signed, I was just like, oh, that could be bad. That could work out for them. It could work out for him. It really could. It really could.
It'll work out versus the Bengals. Like, if you don't have a stout defensive line, they probably gonna run through you. And the Bengals, they're losing a lot of pieces on that defensive line. By the way, nobody talking about that. They're losing DJ Reader. They already lost BJ Hill. Like, they lost a lot of pieces on that defense.
Did BJ sign yet?
I don't know, man. I don't think he's coming back. So
he needs to take that trip up the road. Is what he need to do.
And you know who else? Think about Larry Ogunjobi. I mean, like, if he ain't your starter, like, he might be fine. Like, you know, but hey, we talking about the Ravens right now. Yeah, I'm not too worried about this because I think the Ravens' problems are still their problems. And their biggest problem is that the wide receivers are kind of bad. Like, they got Zay Flowers, they got Mark Andrews, and they don't have a single problem outside of that. And we don't know how much Zay Flowers doing what he did in that game is going to affect him going forward because we've seen less ruin more careers.
He was good, though. He was good. He was good this past season. He really was.
He was good till he wasn't.
Man, that fumble.
He was good until he wasn't.
Man, that fumble. Come on, bro.
Hey, man, that kind of stuff changes how you play. Kind of changes your passion that you have for the game. But I think that's still the Ravens' biggest problem is that when it comes down to it, if you have good enough corners, those guys can't separate, right? Outside of Zay, who is a good wide receiver, but like Zay's not like one of the best 15 in the NFL. So even that, it's like that's your one. Like, he's a good receiver, but he's a weak number one. Odell Beckham, like, if y'all still bringing that back, like, okay. Ain't nobody worried about Odell Beckham in 2025, 2024. So it's like, what, Nelson Aguilar? Like that, like the issue wasn't running back. And my hot take is Lamar's still going to lead the team in rushing. He done led the team in rushing since he got there. He going to do it again. I think Mark Ingram is the only one that surpassed him in rushing one time. Maybe, but that might have been no, he did not. That was 2019. I believe he led the team in rushing the year he won the MVP as well. Look, the run game is Lamar Jackson. So what you're asking Derrick Henry to do is be a supporting back. He ain't that good at that. Remember when he was splitting carries in Tennessee at the beginning? He wasn't that good. If the offense ain't built around Derrick Henry, he's not going to be able to do what he wants to do. And then you're going to use him like a big running back. He's a terrible big running back. Like, he's not go up the middle for 1 yard. It's never been his game. Ryan Clark's talked about it. You hear anybody who's played against him, they talk about how easy he is to tackle before he gets downhill. Hell, you know, I pulled a clip on my video on my channel, by the way. You know, I pulled a clip from Roquan Smith saying how easy Derrick Henry is to tackle as long as you don't let him get downhill, and how much harder it is to tackle Nick Chubb. Whenever, like, listen to these players, man, they don't lie to you. When they talk about who's difficult to tackle, it's another TJ Watt, Myles Garrett situation, right? Where it's like, when the players tell you who's difficult to tackle, you know who always comes up? Nick Chubb. Every time. Nick Chubb. Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith both were like, Nick Chubb, immediately, hardest player to tackle. Unprompted. Then they brought up like Le'Veon Bell and like some guys you wouldn't think of. But Nick Chubb. You know who they didn't bring up until somebody prompted him? Derrick Henry. Just saying. We think Derrick Henry is super hard to tackle. They don't have that same opinion. Now, they know if he gets going, he's hard to stop. But as he gets older, it's going to be harder and harder for him to get downhill. We saw some of that last year. And now that he's in the AFC North, team's going to key in on that. You saw what the Steelers did. They just got Pat Queen literally to shoot those gaps and tackle that motherfucker before he gets going. Like, that was a direct reactionary move. The Browns got JOK and Grant Delpit, and the Bengals have Logan Wilson. Now, they need to get some guys inside bad, but those linebackers are good enough to get there if you get enough at the defensive tackle position. Those are terrible matchups for him 6 times a year. And he's 30. He might have one good year left, but I don't know. I'm not as sold on this as everybody else is. I think people have this one wrong. I don't think he's a great fit for the Ravens. And I don't think this is going to produce the numbers people are expecting. I think he runs for like 800 to 900 yards, maybe a soft 1,000, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy.
We gonna see, man. We gonna see. Hey, we gotta talk about what the Browns was doing because we hyper focused. We hyper focused on Jameis because we called that. But they done made some moves. They done made some moves since we've been talking. To be honest with you, see if I can see all of these. Real quick.
Real quick, while you're doing that, we got a few super chats we could catch up on as well here. We got. Going a little out of order from DeAndre. We never got to this one. With Dorsey's new offense, 3 Florida boys at receiver, and Watson or Winston airing it out, Cleveland is leading the league in touchdowns this year. Book it.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Nah, they might not lead the league in touchdowns, but they are going to lead the league in, man, fuck it, throw that shit. Passes. Hey, look, by the way, that huddle is going to be hilarious with all them South Florida dudes at wide receiver. Hey, they have a way of directing the ball to themselves. They're going to be in there like, hey, man, fuck it. Throw me that bitch. He can't guard me.
We got, I don't believe we got to this one from Ray Rags. I went back to look at Russ's numbers against the Browns, and he had less than 200 yards, and we lost. If only the D actually showed up, we would have destroyed them.
Man, the only reason Russ had success versus my bad, Cole. Let me let you get going.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason we lost that game is because DTR got knocked out the game. Because he was starting to put it together. They were starting to come back, and then they knocked him out the game, and it just spiraled from there.
And then PJ did what Joe Flacco did in the playoff game. Turned that bitch over 3 times in a row. We forget so much of the context, man, of the season. It wasn't like we walked away from that game like, man, Russ was cooking. It was like, I can't believe we let Russ get 45 seconds behind the line of scrimmage in that game. That's what I was furious about. Just let Russ sit back there, make easy decisions. He didn't do a single damn impressive thing in that game, man. Just please, I can't wait to play Russ again.
And we got another from Ray Rags. The second I saw Steelers fans posting highlights of Russ from before the decade, I knew they were cooked and had to have high expectations.
I'm not gonna lie, those are my favorite tweets. My favorite tweets are the old highlights with dudes getting signed.
You tweeted, it was like, did I just see a Brady Quinn stat line? You saw a lot of announcers and coaches in that highlight reel.
Yeah, there's a Brandon Whedon stat line.
I remember somebody was like, hey, man, did he just juke the Patriots head coach? Like, is that Gerard Mayo?
I was like, those are my favorite tweets of all
Half the helmets in that video are illegal to wear now. Like there are a lot of Riddell Revolutions in there that you can't wear now. Like they have deemed it not CTE safe. Like,
no, Q. Somebody's like, hey man, did I just see Vince Wilfork?
Hey, you got to be self-aware when you post that. You're like, yeah, man, here's some highlights from 12 years ago.
They do it on purpose. It's so fun. It's funny every single. As long as you don't take it serious, it's so fun.
Oh my goodness. And then you watch those highlights and you're like, damn, dog. Russ used to be nice.
Really,
but then you watch him in Denver, you're like, that is not the same person. Russ used to run and cut, and then you watch him in Denver. It's like watching that version of Russ running around with ankle weights on. Like, you remember when Zeke went? Like the day that you saw it, you're like, oh man, Zeke can run real fast. He can cut all this stuff, and then you saw him, and you were like, it's gone. Remember the same thing happened last year with Austin Eckler, right? Mm-hmm. You saw, you're like, oh, he can't burst. Like, uh-oh.
Somebody posted a recent highlight of him when he signed. I forget. I think he signed with the Commanders. Didn't he sign with the Commanders? They posted a recent highlight from this past season, and somebody was like, "Hey man, it looked like he got wet shoes."
My friend from college, Luke, hit me with this great line. He said, "You could time Austin Eckler's 40 time with the fucking sundial."
Oh man. Ain't nothing sadder in football than when a good running back just lose all the burst, man. It's so
I know.
sad.
I'm so worried about this shit.
It's so sad. I'm praying it
I'll
don't
be
happen
so
to
sad
Nick,
if we
bro.
see Nick Chubb break one and he can't get all the way. I'm like, oh
I'm gonna be like, oh,
no.
that's not good. It's over. It's over.
Like, he can't get that burst. Now, if he do get that burst, oh, we will rejoice. Look, man, there is nothing that we are nervous about a lot of things with this season because there's a lot of expectations. There is nothing more nervous than we are about the first time Nick Chubb really get a chance to run. Like we sit here like we can't tell on these little 10 5-yard runs. You know, maybe he's slowing down, maybe he's just at the beginning of the game, but he gonna get an opportunity to break one of them bitches off for like 45 yards. And usually with Nick Chubb, he get them 45. But if he get 25 out of that 45, we're going to be like, uh-oh. If we start to see guys who would never dare chase down Nick Chubb, chase him down. Like, if we see Justin Bouquet get a tackle downfield on Nick Chubb, we're going to be like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
First thing y'all going to see me tweet, it's over. It's over.
And then the next one, he jumps off for like 45 yards. We back.
Like, oh, we're so back.
No, where were you when Ohio State played Florida in the national championship game?
Probably just at the house.
Were you watching like college football at the time?
Yes.
My dad was a huge Troy Smith fan.
Oh.
And he was talking about how big game Troy gonna show him, how SEC speed is just hype. That Ohio State got Ted Ginn. How we got Glenville, so we got Cleveland speed. And it was the pride of Cleveland. My dad is a Clevelander with a capital C, with the John Adams. Okay, like the pride of Cleveland Public School, even though he hate Glenville, but the pride of Cleveland was coming out of him, man. And then that first play happened where Troy Smith got walked down by a man who eventually got drafted in the 7th round. And you could just see him be like, oh, hell is real. You know what it took for my dad to get that joy back, to get that feeling back? It took Cardale Jones coming back in there winning that national championship. Hey, all I'm saying is that Glenville did right by the Ohio State Buckeye program. You have never felt as good about that program as you did when they've had like 4 or 5 prominent dudes from there. So that's why they be getting all that extra funding. But
Ray Rags, super chat. My dad to this day says Ted Ginn Jr. was really that hurt after that opening kick.
Hey, man, we thought the Ohio State fans thought they had that one. Like they was going to tell the world about the Big Ten. And instead you spurred 20 years of SEC superiority. Like you do realize that game is why we talk about the SEC the way that we do. That game determined it. Ohio State did not just lose. They got demolished. And also, was that before Urban Meyer? Yeah. Or was that Urban Meyer's first national championship?
That was Urban Meyer's. That was Urban Meyer's national championship.
Yeah. And that was before Tebow was starting. That was Chris Leak that did it to you. Yeah. Everybody that's arguing about the Big Ten versus SEC, blame Ohio State. This is why they don't like Tressel, right? Because Ohio State, they got that loss, and then they came back with Todd Beckman, who Tressel was being pretty stubborn about not playing Terrell. And got that ass beat by Nick Saban. Hey, It is what it is. And because you got that ass beat by Nick Saban then took a job with the Miami Dolphins that created the Alabama dynasty. Ohio State is responsible for the SEC. I don't understand why people don't get this.
Hey, what happened in the first national? What happened in the first college football playoff though? What happened?
Hey, you started to fix your own problem until Devonta Smith killed Sean Wade's NFL career in one half of football. Like,
hey, that was Sean's fault. Hey, anybody tell you start talking shit to that man?
Hey,
Nobody
look, we was ready. Maybe the Big Ten is back. Maybe they just as good as the SEC. And the Devonta Smith killed all that shit. They was like, yeah, I'm going to just cook you like I'm playing Ohio Southwest in this bitch. Okay? Like it wasn't the national championship. Like this isn't supposed to be the most difficult game of the season. I'm hurt. What's my stat line? Mac Jones won a national championship because of Ohio State. Think about that one.
Listen, happens. It happens.
Think about that. Mac Jones. It makes no sense that Ohio State was able to just wash Marcus Mariota in the Oregon Ducks. But like when they go up against these mediocre quarterbacks, man, like in the college football realm, can't do nothing with them. Who was even the quarterback in 2008 for the LSU Tigers?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
It wasn't Jamarcus Russell. He was gone by then. It was whoever stepped in after Jamarcus Russell.
It was Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn. Yes, that's who did it to you. Matt Flynn.
Man. And while I'm here, from Ray Rags, we have it's even worse. They lost to them in the national championship in two different sports in the same year.
Nah, I don't blame the basketball team for losing that one to Al Horford and Joakim Noah. That was a serious Florida Gators team, dog.
Hey,
did they have Bill?
That was an elite Florida Gators team.
Who else? They had a guard.
Corey Brewer. They had Corey Brewer.
Oh shit! Yeah,
they had Corey Brewer. They had somebody else besides Horford and Noah and Corey.
With Billy Donovan was the coach.
Man, that Florida team was crazy.
No, they were good for a while. Okay,
they went back to back. That Florida team was crazy.
Yeah. No. Like we had Greg Oden and Mike Conley. Yeah,
Mike Conley.
And that was a nice little pairing, but it stood up. Joakim Noah in college was that dude. He was pretty good in the NBA for a while. People forget this. But
speaking of being that dude in college, hey, we got to stop acting like Greg Oden won that dude in college.
No, he was good. He was nice.
I saw a tweet. I was like, how did people pick Greg Oden over Kevin Durant? I was like, oh, you didn't watch Greg Oden.
Like you're a child. Yes.
Yeah, so you gotta be like 10 years old or like 12 years old or something like that. Because if you saw Greg Oden in college, you completely understand why they picked him over Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant being old makes me feel old because that's one of the first like people I'm like, oh, I remember the draft hype and the draft concerns about him. Like he couldn't bench press. Like he was too skinny.
He couldn't bench press 135.
They were worried about his ability to box out guys. Turned out that wasn't an issue. Turns out you're never gonna ask Kevin Durant to box somebody out. Like, and you will be.
Yeah, fine. Man. It didn't really matter.
Look, Kevin Durant went number 2 simply because where basketball was at the time, right? Like basketball saw Kevin Durant not as a 7-footer who can shoot, dribble, and do all of this amazing shit. They saw him as a liability. He's too light, and he likes to shoot jumpers. He has no post game, and he's 7 foot, so he has to play the 4 or the 5, right? Like that's where basketball was. And Greg Oden, he was exactly what basketball wanted at the time. Like the big, strong,
and was good.
Yeah.
Was good until his body failed him. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't like calling him a bust.
That's spectacular.
I always say this: we shouldn't call guys busts if they got hurt.
They had Maurice Spates.
They had Maurice Spates too.
Yeah,
man, that Florida team was tough. That
Florida team was both Spates. Junior Al Horford. This is a grown man. Okay, like. That was a grown man, dog. Corey Brewer was a junior. They don't make college basketball teams like this anymore. Talk about a different era of college basketball. Like, there's 3 freshmen on this roster. Think about that.
Man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Our Orford is old as fuck. Oh my
man!
god,
When you think about it, he's still in the league. He the only one from that. Well, yeah, I think he's the only one from that Florida team still in the league.
Yeah, because Joakim went out pretty long time ago. And Joakim was the young one, right? Like Joakim was, yeah, he was a junior, but he was pretty good as like a freshman. But yeah, Al Horford, he's still in the league. Not just still in the league, like still getting minutes.
Still playing. Yeah. Still productive.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey man, some people 37. That's
good
crazy.
For Al. Good for
he still
Al,
look the same. You look at the pictures of him in college, you look at him now, he looked the same. Some people just don't age, man.
Ray Rags. We see it. Greg Oden thinks the reason he had so many problems in the NBA is because Portland had him put a lift in his shoe to fix the difference in his leg sizes. He said he learned to play without it and the lift messed him up. I had no idea that was a thing.
Man, Portland is the worst place to go if you have chronic injuries.
Yeah, if you're a big man that's talented, you go to Portland, it's pretty.
Because then they at the same time they were fucking up Brandon Roy too, right?
Brandon Roy too, man. Brandon Roy was special, dog. You had to be there.
Yeah,
you had to be there.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. That was a tough time. Can we talk about my other favorite topic of this offseason?
Before we start talking about who the Browns actually signed? Yes,
yeah, they're gonna be here for that. Can we talk about them lemon pepper wets coming for Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
yes. Man. Hey. Here's the thing that people don't understand about Atlanta, because people are like, "Oh, this is so hilarious that Kirk Cousins was going to be an Atlanta Falcon." And here's what I say: in Atlanta, there are pockets that are Falcon fans, and the Falcons have Pastor Troy at the game. They be having Killer Mike in the suites, it's a different environment, right? And then there are the University of Georgia Bulldogs fans. And let me tell you, Kirk Cousins fits in with those people. You know how many people I see just dressed like college football coaches? Like when I'm just out and about in Atlanta, you know? It's a lot. It's a lot. You're not familiar with this, are you, Cole?
No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. I don't think, because Cleveland's not a college football town. One day, you have to come to Atlanta. I'll show you this firsthand. But when you live in a city that has a strong college football presence, a lot of dudes dress in these like striped polos with the Georgia logo on it with khakis. Okay. Sometimes khaki shorts. Basically, there's a bunch of motherfuckers that always look like they about to golf. Like, you know how the joke was back in the day? Oh, I got to stay ready for a hoop game. That is the other side of that equation is I got to stay ready for a round of golf. I am not joking. Anybody who's been to anywhere with a college football presence, you know, especially in the South, you know what I'm talking about, because Kirk will love Atlanta. They got Targets by the mile. Like, I could walk out my place a mile each direction. I'm going to be at a Target. Right? It's just which one am I going to be at, the one with the escalator, or I'm going to be at the super Target? They got a fucking super Target in Atlanta. Yes.
Yeah, super Target?
Yes. It's nice. Got a full grocery store and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Kirk going to love it here. Okay. Kirk going to love it here. Like, look, you don't got to go to the strip clubs in Atlanta. You don't got to do that. That's just what they rap about. But what they sang about is Georgia. And there's a lot of Georgia in Atlanta. And I'm just saying Kirk going to fit beautifully in the city of Atlanta. Beautifully. He can't wait. I bet he can't wait to get out of Minnesota. He been in Minnesota. He been in Minnesota?
We hate on Minnesota? Hold on.
We hate on Minnesota. Minnesota is colder than Cleveland, and there's less stuff to do.
Hey, be careful.
What?
We're not trying to offend the Somali population of Minnesota. We are trying to, no disrespect.
This is Somali pop. What?
Yes. We're not trying to disrespect those.
Oh,
people.
No. Not y'all. Not y'all. Okay. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that like to go ice fishing. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Just want to be clear about who we talking about.
Look. My guy, Patrick McCoy. I'm from Peachtree City. You're dead on about these Georgia fans, dog. Yes. Always ready for a golf game. Always. I can walk to the gas station right now. I'll see 3 white dudes dressed like that. I promise you. And like some Nikes that you can only get at Kohl's. Like they got the Kohl's exclusive Nikes.
And like the $49.99.
Because look, man, here's the thing that people don't get about Atlanta. Everybody's here. It is real easy to go to an event and realize, oh, you are not the intended audience. Right? One time, me and my girl, we were walking the belt line. We was like, hey, let's go to this bar. They look like they got good food. Fucked up. It was during the Georgia game. We got in there, didn't know Georgia had a 2-minute chant. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, they do a 2-minute chant at the touchdowns, and they bark, and they do all this stuff. And I was like, oh, we in Georgia. I looked around, I saw all them striped polos and khakis, and I was like, damn, we should have went to the taco joint.
Nah, Christian Corliss on super chat. Like that in Texas too, even near FCS school. Yes. What's wrong with
anywhere in, like, I promise you, any college football town in the South, you will see this. You will see. Greg, have you had any experience with college football towns in the South?
No, I haven't, but I do have a lot of families that live in Columbus, and I feel like you even get that there a little bit.
Oh yeah, you definitely
college
get
football,
that
different world, baby.
You definitely get that in Columbus, 100%. That's not surprising at all.
I went when this was like when I first moved to Atlanta. I went, there's a club near me, and I was like, I'm gonna go. I ain't never been. I'm gonna go to that club, right? It was also the same weekend that I believe Tennessee was in Atlanta for whatever. I think it was like Tennessee and Georgia or something. It was some reason that Tennessee and Georgia were playing each other or like in the same vicinity. Or maybe it was like Tennessee, Georgia. I don't know. But Tennessee, I remember the University of Tennessee was in Atlanta. It might have been, it couldn't have been the SEC championship game, right? Or am I thinking it was Clemson? It was those weirdos in South Carolina. Yes, it was Clemson. It was Clemson. They were playing the first game of the season, Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. And I went to this place and I was like, why are all these young people dressed like dads? And apparently that's the swag. Like, apparently that's the fit. That's the fit. Like, they go to the game. I went to that game too. It was Georgia Tech versus Clemson. I remember going to that game. I remember just thinking to myself, what the fuck Gen Z on? Like, what is that? And then I realized it wasn't a Gen Z thing. This is a South thing.
You have more old man complaints for somebody who's not in his 30s yet than anybody I have ever met.
I'm a middle child. Like, I was always old. Like
what's Gen Z's problem?
Were you an only child, Cole?
Yes, I was an only
child.
child.
I could tell. Yes, you do. See, me and Greg grew up with siblings, right? And when you that middle child, you older, dog. Yeah, you stressed because you know that the problems that your younger and older siblings create, they trickle down to you. Okay? Like, now you have less freedoms because somebody want to do something else. So you constantly got to be the one trying to just maintain the status quo. Like, it's so stressful.
True. Yeah, I relate to that.
Yeah, see, you don't know nothing about that. You dictate your own circumstances, Cole. That must be nice. All you got to do is fuck up for your freedoms to be taken away. I ain't even got to do nothing. It's like a triple threat match in wrestling. I don't even got to get pinned to lose my title. Like I'm just grounded now because Mike grounded and we share the same room, and now I can't play PlayStation because you worried you gonna make me let him play. Nah,
that was always the worst. If you're like watching TV and so is your sibling that's not supposed to be watching TV, and then nobody can watch TV anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're just existing.
Yeah. You wonder why I have so many creative thoughts? It's because I'd have had to not watch TV so much in my childhood. Why? Because of fucking siblings. Okay. Love them to death. But
do you?
Yes. Of course I do.
It ain't sound like it right there.
But if you wondering why I'm an old man, it's because I had to be an old man at 16. Mike, don't steal my car. Yes.
Steal mob car. You fucking nuts.
Yes. Yes. This is what we had to do. Okay. So yeah, because you know what? I hear this from you. I hear this from my family, and I'm like, y'all made me this way. What are you talking about?
I made you.
No, they made me this way. Like when my brother be like, yeah, man, why do you be acting so old and serious? Because I had to be. I wasn't going to get away with nothing if y'all did all this stuff that y'all do just flagrant. Don't even know how to play the game. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, man. How did we even get to that?
We were talking about Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. We got to Georgia.
Oh, yeah. And we talk about how Kirk Cousins going to fit in better than people think in Atlanta. Kirk ain't never leaving. Kirk going to be in there selling cars in Atlanta after he retire. There are people who like Atlanta. And there are so many different demographics of people who like Atlanta. A lot of people who watch the show will love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Kirk gonna love Atlanta. Not for the same reasons I do, but Kirk gonna love. They got axe throwing. Okay. Like, they got Targets. Like, they got craft beers and cigar bars. Okay. Like, what city has all that stuff?
Ain't no lie. I would go to a cigar bar.
Yeah, they got plenty of them. You could go to Cam's in College Park. There's one at the Battery. Right before you get to the baseball stadium, there's a cigar bar. Yes. Yes. And a place where you can play video games and get food. Atlanta is a wild place, man. Like,
hey, no. Tuli said this shit sound like Parma.
there are parts of Atlanta that will remind you of Parma. Yes.
Oh man.
Literally, Atlanta has everything, man. And look, he ain't got to live in Marietta to make it happen. He gonna be out there with me on the north side of the city. We might run into each other at Publix. Hell, he might go to Fresh Market. Might see him. Hey, Kirk, how you doing, buddy? You're jogging? Yeah, you can do that.
What's wrong with you, dog?
Hey, man. I see people commenting on this and they think Atlanta is one thing. I'm like, that's the thing about Atlanta. It is 45 things. And people move here thinking it's one thing and they ain't gonna be happy. But if you move here knowing it's 45 different things, you just got to find the thing you like. You might like it. And let me tell you, Kirk and his wife go find what they like in Atlanta because they got it. They got it. Watch Kirk show up in a Atlanta Falcons striped polo, like a white polo with thin red lines on it, and like a little falcon right here, in a tucked in polo with some khaki shorts, like he about to be on the gap, like he about to be on the golf course, having the time of his fucking life, dog. He's gonna love it. He will. Somebody say Kirk is gonna live in Peachtree. Yeah, Kirk ain't never gonna be on Linux. Let me tell you, Kirk ain't never gonna be at Linux. He's gonna go to the Apple store in the perimeter. Okay.
Hey, good y'all said free agency edition of QnCOLB, and we've been on the Greenbrier and ATL folks for 85%.
These are the things that matter when it comes to free agency, man. I promise you, they not thinking as much about team fit as they make it seem like. They like, yeah, that team's solid, but what's the city like? Because I gotta live there, especially when you signing a guaranteed contract like Kirk. Look, hey, Cole, it's a reason why Matt Ryan stayed in Atlanta for so long. It was so sad to go. Right?
Oh.
Hey,
oh man,
it's got everything. It truly has both Americas.
You said it's got both Americas.
It's got both of them. It's got three Americas actually, because there is a Hispanic population in here that's very underrated. But It's got them all. Like, Atlanta is a true melting pot. Like,
hey man, I gotta visit at some point. At some point, I'm gonna take that trip. Because when I go to Georgia, I'll be in the woods. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm gonna have to come up to the city next time I'm there.
I'm gonna show you all the different. Because like here's the thing: you will be somewhere like Georgia Tech's campus, and you be like, "Oh, this is a certain type of Atlanta," and then you walk 10 feet to the other way to down the street to Atlantic Station. You're like, "Oh, this is another Atlanta." Okay, like, and then you walk 10 feet to another plaza, and you are in Georgia.
See, I like being in Georgia. I like being in the country. I love being in Georgia.
I live in the middle. I live in the city, and let me tell you, I'm never 10 minutes away from the country. Like, I go on hikes pretty routinely.
Oh man, yeah. I'll have to come next time I'm up there. I might hit you up for sure.
It is hilarious. This city is hilarious, dog.
Hey, well, let's talk about these Browns, man.
All right, let's get to the Browns. Let's
we know y'all want to talk about the Browns. We know y'all want to talk about the Browns. Let's talk about the Browns, man. Hey, first thing we should talk about though, because we haven't had an opportunity to talk about it, the Jerry Jeudy trade.
AB doesn't.
I liked it, man. I felt like pretty positive reception all around from everybody, even people who aren't associated with the team. Most people were like, you know what? 5th and a 6th, I do that.
Mm-hmm. You know what Amari Cooper thinking? Well, got one more year.
I feel like he's played his way into maybe a little extension, right? A little extension, maybe like two years, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, if this goes the way the Browns want it to go,
he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone. If Jerry Jeudy has a great season, he's 100% gone. He's out of here.
And I was thinking about man, Amari Cooper gonna be a great mentor, but I'm like, Amari Cooper also want that bag, so like, and he like it here, like. He might sabotage. Like, he might Doc Rivers this situation.
No, he ain't gonna do that. Come on now. He ain't gonna do that.
Hire your boy.
I think he's played well enough since he's been here where the Browns are probably like, we would prefer to keep you at a certain number.
Yeah, let me tell you what Amari Cooper is not going for. I remember when Amari Cooper first signed with the Cleveland Browns, I was searching on his Instagram. There is a video of him celebrating his birthday and his new $100 million contract with the Cowboys, where he pulls up in a very nice car with a Gucci sash on, and he looks at the camera and says, "I'm richer than you." It just peels off. Not a man taking a discount. Nope. That man will play for the Jaguars if he fucking got to. He gonna get that money.
I'm richer than you.
I'm richer than you.
He's like, you ain't got to say that, bro. We know.
Yes. They're like, what do you have to say to the haters? I'm richer than you. I'm like, not a man taking a discount. Like, a lot of his self-worth is wrapped up into that money. He's not taking a discount, dog. Like, no.
Hey, since we talking about money, Elijah Moore probably like, okay, gotta have a good season.
Well, Elijah Moore, I think he has a good opportunity ahead of him because Jerry Jeudy's really a slot receiver, right? And he's gonna do, him and Cooper are gonna probably, if Jerry's probably gonna do 60% the slot, 40% out wide, and when he's doing that 40, that's when Coop's getting his 40 in, right? I don't think that they really use Elijah Moore as a slot guy. I mean, like maybe in some special situations, they want to like get a free press or a specific look off of him, they'll use him. But I don't think that is primarily where they're going to use Elijah. They're going to put Elijah out wide. I think that'll let him shine a little bit. Also, it will stress out some of these too high defenses to where they might have to commit a safety over the middle of the field if Jerry Jeudy's having a good game. And then you also have to worry about David Njoku in the middle of the field. Like, it's going to pull those safeties away from the sidelines, which is going to allow Elijah Moore to have more space there to hopefully get some deep balls. But they're going to throw the ball to all three of these wide receivers plenty. They're going to be in 3 wide almost every play, and they're probably not going to be in like 12 personnel or some shit like that, right? A lot. So I think that this is a good move. I could see where Elijah Moore is going to get his touches. Like, I think they all fit. Would I have liked somebody who go get a 50-50 ball? Yes. But if you can get a strong enough option at the running back position, I can get over that. But we'll see what happens there. Maybe they finally commit to David Njoku being a jump ball guy. But yeah, it's a very good move. I mean, we forget Jerry Jeudy was really good coming out of college, a great route runner. All of this stuff was comp to Amari Cooper.
He's had good seasons too, is the thing I feel like people have overlooked.
The production's there. Like if Elijah Moore had the numbers that Jerry Jeudy had last year, we would have been thrilled.
Didn't Elijah Moore have a career high in yards this year too?
Yeah, he had like 600. Jerry had like 700.
They weren't even using him. They weren't even using Elijah correctly the first half of the year. Yeah. I feel like people are down on Elijah, and I'm just like you said, we just throw out context whenever we talk about these players. I was like, the first half of the season, they were trying to use him like he was Deebo Samuel, and they clearly shouldn't have been doing that.
Yep. And they gave up on that, and then he got better. Right. And I think also a healthy Deshaun Watson, like that's really going to help him. I think they have good chemistry. We know him and Coop got good chemistry. Them motherfuckers was drawing up plays. Okay. The last time. Look, there is one person who is 8 while Deshaun Watson has been out there. Coop had that 3 touchdown game against Washington with Deshaun Watson, and he had that Arizona game with Deshaun. I'm pretty sure the chemistry's there with him and Deshaun. And then Jerry Jeudy, I mean, if the chemistry's there with him and Coop, it's not going to be that much different with Jerry Jeudy. And now that the Browns are moving to a more choice route-based offense where they're going to let wide receivers kind of have more control over what they run sometimes, and let Deshaun kind of just find them. I think this is a good fit. Like, this makes sense. Deshaun's going to be able to find them. And if he stays healthy, that'll all work out. And quiet as kept, Jameis gonna throw that bitch to anybody, dog. Like, that's the thing. There's a reason the team loves him, right? Like, Jameis gonna get that thing out there, right? He gonna throw that thing to anybody, and I think that'll work out too. So we'll see what happens. You also got guys like I know B. Rogers mentioned it in the chat, Cedric Tillman. You know, maybe he makes a leap here or there. David Bell, that thing looks like it's nearing the end of that experiment. Even though like he had a solid end of the year last year, he wasn't terrible.
He's not terrible, but he's kind of like whoever they take in the draft could take that spot for sure.
He's Rashad Higgins. Do a little bit more. He's like Rashad Higgins. Like, he's very like replaceable. And who else do they have on their roster? I always feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
I mean, they have what's his name, Michael Woods, but he was hurt. You don't know what's going on with that. Woods. Is there anybody else I'm forgetting? Darden, I guess, but he don't really count either.
There's one spot then for wide receiver, but I mean, Marquise Goodwin maybe.
He's not coming back. I feel like that's done.
Maybe somebody said Jakeem Grant. Come on, man.
Naheem Hines, who they just signed, he's the returner now. Like that's your kick and punt returner now. So
and let's for Jakeem's sake, just let this man, because it's clearly not good luck with him here.
Yeah, he needs to. And I don't say this in an aggressive or malicious way. He needs to get far away from Cleveland, dog. Like some ain't right.
I've never seen somebody have the last preseason game.
Yeah, man. Back to back preseasons. Season ended injuries. You got to get up out of here, man. Something ain't right.
Yeah. But Browns, they also brought back Zadarius Smith on $12 million over 2. Pretty good.
Brought back Shelby Harris, and Mo Hurst.
Now, who do we want the Browns to add? Is there one name left? I know. I want DJ.
I know who I want. Yep. Yeah. Hey, we got to acknowledge it. You know, we brought up Christian Wilkins till we saw that price tag. It was like, ooh.
Hey, they were willing to do Christian Wilkins from $22 to $25 million. Once the Raiders easy to scam ass decided to go 28. That was it. It was over. 28?
No.
28 for 10 sacks is crazy.
I had two different people like, hey, they trying to get Wilkins, they trying to get him. And then when I saw that number, I was like, ooh.
27.5. Hey, look, you can tell. Look, there are certain decisions people make because it was everybody I know in Houston and Cleveland were like, it's coming down to the Browns and the Texans. It's coming down to the Browns and the Texans. And then all of a sudden that alert dropped and he signed with the Raiders. And you're like, oh, they just dropped the bag. that.
I see 110. I said, oh, Lord. I was like, oh, yeah, we could compete with that.
They gave him Chris Jones money.
I was like, you got to take that, bro. He got to take that.
We thinking you the more affordable, solution. No. Okay, let's get DJ Reader running for a year. And DJ Reader's going to be interesting to see, right? Because if he doesn't sign this week, there's a good chance that he ends up being on the 1-year deal market. And honestly, I think he's already there. And the Browns could end up getting DJ Reader. Like, it's probably not going to happen this month, next month, or the month after they get DJ. Like, I think this is like camp spot to start. DJ Reader's still available. Kind of like they did with Zadarius and Shelby Harris last year. Let's go get DJ Reader. Because, well, it ain't going to take him that long to get acclimated. Like, it's just cardio. He ain't got to learn nothing. Defensive tackle. Just be strong when you're 101.
Said be strong.
Yeah. He got to learn no plays. What plays is he learning? Like, oh, you got to learn how to stunt and twist. Like, he know the D line, the D tackle. Nobody's ever talked about can a D tackle learn the plays in time, right?
No, nobody's ever done that.
Yeah.
Are we avoiding Eric Armstead completely, or are we interested? Because I'd be interested. Depends on the money, though. Depends on the money, but
because honestly, I think DJ Reader is cheaper, and he's better for what the Browns need.
Really?
Yeah. I think Arik is cool, but the Browns really need to shore up. They need a defensive tackle that can rotate in there in obvious rundowns, because one of the biggest pet peeves with this defense was that sometimes they would get in the habit of just giving up 5 yards on first down on the ground game up the middle, right? Like, that was one of the biggest issues. That's not going to happen that much if DJ Reader's out there. Armstead, I'm not sure if that fixes the problem.
I mean, I'm cool with either.
And I literally, the year before, DJ Reader was the best defensive player on that Bengals team.
Easily.
Well, oh no, that's Ashawn Robinson that just signed with the Panthers.
Oh, whew. Oh man, I almost got scared.
Chase Young is still available, man. They really don't like him. Maybe remember we were like, oh man, they only got a 2nd round pick for Chase Young. That's going to turn into, wow, they got a 2nd round pick for Chase Young.
Yeah, I seen some Browns fans like, we should try to. I'm like, nah, we shouldn't.
I think the Browns legitimately think that Obo Okoronkwo is better than Chase Young, and they're not 100% wrong, but also, I don't know. I'm not going to live or die on no Chase Young hill. I understand why they don't want to do it. He kind of got that Jed Wills issue where people just don't like his effort.
Remember that? Remember his effort in that NFC Championship game? I was like, nope. Because if he did that in Cleveland, we would kill him for it.
Yeah, but he had excellent effort in the Super Bowl.
He did. We also signed Akeem Adeniji from the Vikings. Okay.
Oh yeah, the tackle.
Is he a swing tackle?
New swing tackle? I think he used to be a tackle for the Bengals. I think that's why I know that name, right?
We got a super chat here too from Professor Chaos. Does AB ever sleep? It seems like almost every news drop happens after you post a vid, Q.
If I was schizophrenic, I would be worried. It is weird because he did this last year where I dropped the video and then he was like, nah, I signed Dalvin Tomlinson. Okay. Fuck you, Q. And then I talk about Jameis Winston potentially signing with the Browns. And what drops this morning? Jameis Winston signs with the Browns. Like, oh, I saw people talking about like, oh, we still joking about it? No, it happened. Glad I added that in the video. See, I'm catching up to you, AB. I'm catching up to you in your bullshit. I'm gonna just add the next free agent into the video so the people don't miss nothing.
I'm telling you, AB be watching the show, man. He ain't gotta say it, but we know, bro. We know.
That'd be hilarious if AB out here talking about if AB and Greenbrier dropping them get out jokes. I'm like, oh, where you get that from, AB?
Okay.
You could have talked to me at the Senior Bowl, but you got the jokes though. Huh? Okay. Oh, I see how it is. You talked to Jeremy Schaap though. I see how it is. Big time, huh? You're big time.
Hey, man,
I'm confident the AV does not know.
We didn't even say anything about Jordan Hicks.
All right, we're not going to talk about Jordan Hicks. We're going to talk about that bullshit you said on Twitter. Go, Greg, come back. Greg, come back. But we need a third-party arbitrator. Did you see? Cole quote tweeted somebody who said that Jordan Hicks had like 100-something tackles. And you know what this motherfucker tweeted in the quote tweet?
What did he say?
Jordan Hicks, more like Jordan Hits.
Hey, you love the pun. You love the pun.
Banish from Twitter immediately.
Hey, the pun was funny. Tell me the pun wasn't funny.
I almost broke my phone.
I've heard worse.
There we go.
I've heard worse.
But no, I read that and I was like, who tweeted this boy? Cold? No.
Listen. We don't like puns?
Jordan Hits.
See how 25. Hey, Real, I appreciate you. You said that's why they pay Cope the Big, but thank you. I appreciate that, Real.
All right, we're going to bring in my guy, Tua Leaf, who says, corny ass motherfucker. All right.
You gonna skip Rail, but you gonna put that one up? That's crazy.
Where's Rail? Is that T How 25?
T How 25, yeah, that's Rail.
That's Rail?
Yeah, that's Rail.
Why? What is T How about? Is his name? Oh, okay, I get it. I have put the pieces together on how it is. Okay, he got the T How 25. Did he play ball? Was 25 his number?
At high school, I think it was. Yeah.
Was he good at football for a high school player?
He was good at track.
Okay. He was like a Deuce Staley out there.
Dude said, Deuce. Hey, shalom, bro.
No, it's me against both of y'all. Y'all out there siding with that shit. Okay.
Hey, it had some likes on there. You see it. People appreciated it. People appreciated the corny joke.
You know what people appreciated? Me posting that GIF. Okay. I needed to give the non-corny of us somewhere to reside in that tweet.
Here we go. What Ray Rags said.
Ray Rags. Oh.
He said, I read they looked into Chase Young but decided to re-sign Z.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they decided this is a vibes thing. Is Chase Young good? Sometimes, but you know what? When he loafs, they gonna be mad about that. But with Zadarius, see that 2-minute warning? Shout out to was it Fred Himes that sent out that tweet? Yeah. That was like Zadarius when he see the 2-minute warning. I'm about to do it. Come get me. Hey, he be bullshitting so much he'll limp for like the first 2 steps and then just jog off.
And he always do this. He like looking down, and he'd be like looking down, and he'd be like,
hey, you ever wanted to get out of the pickup game? Like the pickup game running too long, but you don't want to seem like a quitter. So what do? Hey, I gotta get this looked at. I got arthritis in this elbow. I can't be messing with that.
Hey, shout out Zadarius, man. I would have missed that. Hey.
Zadarius Smith is a pioneer because he decided faking injuries isn't just for defensive backs. It's for me too. Like, there were a couple times when Zadarius blew his leverage, and you were wondering, why is Zadarius on the ground right after he gave up a 20-yard run? And he's back on the next play. He missed a tackle. He lay on the ground.
Face the same. We're saying. Then you cut to the locker room post game, and he's flying around, high five people with chest pumping.
Yeah, remember that game? They were on Fox. I remember this shit. They used the like the injury timeout music. I'm thinking, damn, man, like we about to play in the playoffs. He injured, like we cannot have this. And then you see on social media Zadarius Smith in there like, yeah, playoffs. And then they ask him, are you about to play in the playoffs? Absolutely. What? Thought you was hurt.
Somebody on Twitter was like, it's like, man, I've seen this man have 10 season-ending injuries throughout the season.
Hey, him and Jameis Winston gonna be hilarious.
Oh my god, dog, they're gonna be so funny.
Because you know what, Jameis gonna be on extra, be like, "Oh no, I'll run out there and help you get up." And Zadarius like, "You blowing up the spot, man."
Hey, let Jameis play a game. Let Jameis play a game during the season. I guarantee you, if they win, he gonna fake an injury.
I want to know what the bench conversations with Nick Chubb and Jameis Winston gonna be like.
A whole lot of Jameis talking and Nick just staring at it.
Wait, here's the thing. Nick, I think, likes dudes like that because who is his best friend in Cleveland? Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt, just like Jameis. He gonna be Nick. We gonna go into training camp and Jameis Winston gonna be talking about Nick Chubb like he John Henry. I've seen him.
Oh.
He picked up Greenbrier with his hands. He gonna be telling campfire stories about Nick Chubb to these people in Greenbrier.
No, we need a mic. We need a mic in front of Jameis at all times. At all times.
Oh yes. Oh, you know that Deshaun cam they had when Deshaun was on the sidelines while he was injured. Just make that the Jameis cam, baby. Just, you know what? Don't even cut to it. Just put it as a little square in the corner of my screen, so I always have picture in picture. You know what I mean? So I can be, what's Jameis doing? Okay, he doing this. Okay.
The first interaction between Kevin Stefanski and Jameis Winston is going to be all time Cleveland Browns content.
Yeah, this is such great casting right here. Like, oh my God, they're going to be able to play off each other so well. It's like Kevin's going to hit him with all these analytical and numerical reasons on why these things happen this way. And why they think that Deshaun gonna be able to do this, and then Jameis gonna hit him with that old country spiritual. he gonna hit him with the, yeah, you know how I know Deshaun is that guy. I saw that man. We was in the woods just chopping wood, and he was able to get a tree trunk down 2 chops. That's how I know he could play quarterback. He was like, "What the fuck did you just say, Jameis?"
No, you know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great when Kevin starts repeating some of the shit that Jameis.
Oh, can you imagine Kevin Stefanski be like, "Well, you know, you gotta take care of your whole body because you know it's symmetrical. You know, you got your wrists, but what's at the bottom? Your ankles, right? And then you have, you know, your elbows, which you know at the bottom, your knees." It's like,
I can't wait for him to just say it's like, hey, you know, like Jerry Jeudy has a good game. It's like, Kev, how do you feel about the game that Jerry Jeudy had? It's like, oh well, you know, he was born by water. So.
Hey, James gonna love this wide receiver room. It ain't nothing but dudes from that grew up around that water.
Oh, this is gonna be a bunch of.
He's like, I knew they could persevere because you know that water ain't got no soul. It don't care, you know. It's going to take you where one. See, here's the thing that I don't think enough people give credit for. As much as what Jameis says is out-of-pocketly hilarious, it do make sense if you actually try to pay attention to it. He's making sense. Like, he is spitting. It's just he's spitting in such a country way that not a lot of people can comprehend it, and they act like it's not intelligent. But what he said about that Water and Mike Evans, that shit is kind of smart. Like, Water don't care. It will take you anywhere. And, he talk about how he can fight through adversity. And who's fought through more adversity than Mike Evans?
From college to the pros, literally.
Hey, dog, his salvation right now is Baker Mayfield. That's how you know. Like, only a man that was born near water can do that. Jameis on to something, man. Like, it's not a joke. He be spitting real game.
Hey, man, we got 2 super chats. Hold on.
Yeah, we got Professor Chaos says, you guys should live watch Jameis Winston's introductory press conference.
Hey, man, we might have to do that. Oh, man. We got to find out what it is. Whatever it is.
I doubt that there's going to be one, right? Like, I got to have an introductory press conference for it.
They shouldn't, but it's Jameis, so we won't rule it out.
Jameis might give himself an introductory press conference. Like, he's just going to end up on somebody's podcast. Like that, I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up on a Chop Space. Just starts fielding questions.
And then we got Alexander Bly says, imagine the media not covering free agency / off season. Then you start next season like WTF Patrick Queen is on the Steelers.
Man, what? Back in the day, you just found out that guy.
Hey, imagine being the dude that found out that Reggie White didn't play for the Eagles anymore. Like they get to because you get to the stadium, you got your kids, you're like, I'm about to show you one of the greatest. Reggie, where the fuck is Reggie White? Or you in the stands at Green Bay, you like, this dude is cooking. Who is this?
Hey, when we get him?
Feel like Urban Meyer coaching in the NFL. Like, what? This dude is, who is it? Did we draft him? Because they didn't have highlights. Like, you could have just go see Reggie White's work. You just heard about that shit. Right? Like, I bet the free agency hype was crazy back in the day.
I do wonder how the Ravens feel, though. Like, it's one thing for one of your better players to leave. It's another thing for them to go directly to a division rival. I mean, they're probably like, well, at least he didn't go to like the Browns or the Bengals. Like, if you had to pick one of the 3 teams, you probably pick the Steelers, but still, like, damn.
Hey.
You have to do that?
Saquon did the same thing.
I get why Saquon did that.
Hey, Saquon does not fuck with the New York Giants. Is what we
would you? Would you though? After what they've done, you watching them pay?
They made him sign that tag, and he thought himself in the back of his head, they gonna hate me at this. Like, I bet he was fine with tearing his ACL. He's like, yep, didn't want to give them another ounce of my labor. Okay.
Daniel Jones got $40 million. I gotta play on the tag.
And then you gotta deal with Tiki Barber talking shit about you. Tiki Barber ain't heard about him since he lost his job at NBC. Like, he out here talking about how you not a real fan, how you not a real player, how you not loyal, like a fan. And he played in the game. Oh, nah. See, remember, we talked about this last week. Some of these things that why people don't like Russ, because he does stuff that makes you gutturally, like just call him a bitch. I bet Saquon had one of them guttural moments with Tiki Barber.
You always been a hater. Like, you always been a hater. I know what he wanted to say.
He hit him with the Riley from Boondocks. Fuck you, and your goofy ass hat. Fuck your bald head. Fuck you and them shoes. My president is back. My Lambo is blue.
Ooh, shout out the Boondocks, man. Classic.
And he went on Instagram and got a video edit of him switching jerseys to many men. He really don't like you. Like, all it took was you saying one thing, and Saquon was like, I can't wait. Now that I got the reason to go on. Like that is like, okay, you thought you was kind of cool with somebody who didn't like you and you said the wrong thing, and not only did they push you, they beat the fuck out of you. It's because they didn't like you for a long time but didn't have a reason, and you finally gave them that reason. And Tiki finally gave, because Saquon went off. He had like 4-5 tweets about it, and then he commissioned a video. like, that's hate.
Oh, I'm so glad he did that. I was happy for him, though. I was like, hey, man, they've been trying to hold you since you was there.
Hey.
So it's fine.
I don't know how many yards he gonna have this year, but he played the Giants twice. He gonna have 500 between the two of those. he gonna run. He gonna find that youth against them, dog. They gonna feed him. And then also you gotta remember Jalen Hurts, all-time homeboy. You know what to do. You know what to do. Yeah. I'm gonna give Saquon this rock.
Hey, the goal line carry is gonna be interesting to monitor.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he gonna audible in. Hey, check. And the next thing you know, is Saquon under center? Because we talk about all the shit that Jalen Hurts can lift and squat. Ain't got nothing on Saquads. Okay, like
you call him Saquads.
That's his nickname. It's Saquads. You ever see his legs?
Oh, I did not know that was that man's nickname, bro. I did not know that
Search
at all.
Saquads Barkley.
Oh man. Hey, no, when Jalen get behind him for the tush push, that's gonna be crazy.
His logo was like his thighs and the number 26. Yeah, no, that man is giant.
Oh man.
Well, unless there's anything else you two want to talk about, do we want to do any shout outs?
Is there anything in free agency we need to talk about?
We covered everything we got on the agenda, unless there's anything else you want to add to it.
Hey man, shout out Desmond Ridder. Are they gonna keep him on the team?
No, for what? For what?
Hey
what
man,
reason?
cheap labor. The man can't keep his job. He ain't gonna do no damage no more. He got to play.
Listen. He's got to go.
Why? He's not toxic. He's just bad at football.
That's enough. It's enough. I don't even want you in my presence. I need you gone. Give me PTSD watching you walk around here.
Raheem Moore gonna be like, not my kind of guy.
You could get a better back. You can get a better backup than fucking Desmond Ridder.
Damn, man, we gonna do Desmond like that? You gonna replace it with Josh Dobbs, the hometown hero?
Go get me Sam Howell or something. Just get him out my face, bro.
It is crazy that they are still not interested in Justin Fields, given that he is from Marietta.
It's like every other team that could have got Justin Fields was just like, we're okay. We'll get literally anybody.
Hey, that Justin Fields trade market starting to look a lot like that Baker Mayfield trade market. Remember that? We'll get rid of him. We'll get a second round pick. Remember, people thought we was gonna get a second round pick for Baker Mayfield, and I was like, no, you're not. You got a fifth round pick that you used to trade for Jerry Jeudy, by the way.
Was it the Baker pick or was it the Josh Dobbs pick?
It was the Baker pick, and it was the pick that you got when you traded for Deshaun Watson. So if Jerry Jeudy pans out, now you have to factor him into that trade for Deshaun Watson and 3 first-round picks. If you get a franchise quarterback and a top-tier wide receiver, feels like fucking nothing.
We got Professor Chaos just said shout out Atlanta for getting Matt Ryan 2.0.
Here's what's funny about that. They're trading for Matt Ryan, but like the same Matt Ryan who was at the same stage of his career that they traded to Indianapolis.
coming off an Achilles injury. So I mean,
hey, I said Kirk gonna love it there. I don't know if Atlanta gonna love it, but let me tell you something. Kirk ain't gonna be interacting with Falcon fans. He gonna be out there hanging with them University of Georgia Bulldogs and Tennessee Volunteer fans.
Hey, Kachal said, "You guys think Greg Newsome will get traded?"
They're not just going to trade him to trade him.
Yeah, they're not going to trade him to trade him.
And they didn't sign like Christian Wilkins, so I don't see them having to free up space. They probably keeping him.
Yeah, unless somebody gets desperate for an outside corner, ain't no reason to There's no reason to trade him.
Yeah, unless somebody offers you a first round pick or something like that. But even then, well, no, they would take a first. They would
100% trade him for a first. I'd say they probably trade him for a second too.
Because I know a third was on the table. They didn't.
Yeah.
So they're not just going.
I heard it was a third and either another mid-round pick the following year or a third and a player.
They're more likely to take a first or a second in next year's draft than they are to take one in this year's draft. And I don't think they're going to be big into these late rounds anymore. It's my prediction because NIL and the guardrails that Andrew Berry likes, not really compatible with the 5th and 6th round and 7th round. Somebody asks, how many Coles does Atlanta have? Just asking for Kirk. He going to have to find a new store, man. I don't think we got Coles over here, dog. Let me see.
What is I'm not hip to this. What's the Kirk Cousins Coles thing? Because I saw on his Instagram 2 weeks ago, he got a grill and said you can't pay for Coles cash with this or something. What is the story?
You saying Kirk had a grill? Hold on, bro.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Look at his Instagram.
Oh, no, never mind. There's 20 Coles in the Atlanta metropolitan area. He's set, dog. He is set. Hey, Kirk ain't never leaving Atlanta, even if he only plays these 2 years here and he sucks. Kirk will be in Atlanta forever.
Yeah, he said, yeah, Kirk has a grill. He got the goals. Okay. Yeah, man, he might feel well in Atlanta.
Look, he can bounce back and forth. He could go to Kohl's, Target, and get a grill with Lil Baby. There is no limit to the stuff that he can do in Atlanta. He can be Kirko's chains and Kirk Cousins at the same time. There's room for both his personalities.
Listen, man, when he says free thug, just know I'm a big fan. when he says free thug post game, just know
that's what he's gonna be going for to get freed by the Atlanta justice system. You think that's gonna be the one he's going for?
He's got a fan in me.
Just saying, Kirk Cousins can bounce between both worlds in that city, man. It ain't gonna be a problem, okay? He can kick it with the O-line and the wide receivers, okay? It drive maybe 4 miles.
With Kirk, when you know how they always do the hype videos where they working out and they throwing the ball. You know how the quarterbacks do it. You know, in all season. When I hear Future in the background, just know that's my quarterback, right?
Hey. By the way, now the AFC North gets to play a ton of Future at pregame. QnCOLB is never going to go to more Browns games. It depends. Are they going to play? Are they going to play that one song though? Because
no, they're not going to play that one song. They're not going to play that one song. I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
Hey, man, I know we need to get Dennis in charge of the music choices.
No, we don't. Oh man, no, we do not. No, we do not. Because but you know the first if Deshaun has a good game, you know he's sending that video immediately. Tweeting it out immediately.
What is Deshaun Watson season? And quote tweets it with that fucking
Oh my god, dog.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, no. Like, no.
I'm like, at this point, dog.
Oh,
at this point, dog, I have no expectations for that sort of thing.
Oh, I expect the worst at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I expect the worst.
Mm-hmm.
What is the worst possible way Browns fans can handle this situation?
Hey, we're gonna find out. we're going to find out a lot because I legitimately think Deshaun Watson's probably going to ball this year. Like, I think he's going to put up some numbers this year. The team's really good. The offensive line's good. He got all kind of options. They're going to switch this shit to something he's more comfortable with. Like, if he has a good year or two left, it's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen. I think he does. And the reaction will be interesting because the Browns have done an excellent job of filling this roster with people that you can't necessarily make this about if Deshaun Watson is playing well. Like, they're not about to make this about Jerry Jeudy. Like, they're not going to make this about Amari Cooper, right? We might locally, but they've never been like that with Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore, I guess they'll make him a star. Nick Chubb, I mean, we'll see if he's producing in the way that you could make this about him. They just gonna have to talk about it. Like, they gonna be talking about Ken Dorsey like he God, dog.
Okay, hey, listen, if Deshaun plays well, Ken can turn this into a head coaching job.
Ken Dorsey is gone. They gonna be like, look at Ken Dorsey. He fixed Josh Allen and he fixed Deshaun Watson and he fixed Cam Newton.
Hey, coach, easy.
Hey, you ever see some dudes that like coach at HBCUs for the longest? And you like, how did he end up there? That's gonna be Ken Dorsey coaching the Anthony Richardsons of the world for the rest of his life. Like, if this thing work out with Deshaun, because they're gonna be like, nah, man, he can fix Trey Lance. Like, and you gonna wonder, how did Ken Dorsey, Mr. Game Manager at the University of Miami, become the quarterback guru for the Cam Newtons of the world?
Hey, listen, those who can't do teach.
Hey,
We got
the shots open 4,000 yards, dog. They go. That's because, like, who else they gonna make this about, man? They gonna be like, hey, it's Ken Dorsey. Fuck it.
We got Professor Chaos saying, what would a Winston Chubb conversation look like?
A whole lot of Winston talking and Chubb just being like, that man crazy.
David's gonna be talking. David's gonna talk to him for like 5 minutes straight, and the only thing Nick's gonna say is, "Yeah, man, you see it." And that's it.
Here's the thing, though, Cole. Nick Chubb is from Chubbville, Georgia. Okay. I don't think Jameis Winston is the most country man he's ever met. Honestly, he doesn't understand why so many people think Jameis Winston is hilarious. Like, most Nick Chubb's cousins probably are like Jameis, because Nick Chubb is as country gets. That man goes back to high school to lift weights. Okay. That is Nick Chubb. Like,
oh man,
yes. Like, I don't know why, because Nick Chubb don't talk. You don't hear his accent, and he don't really have much of a country accent. People just think, oh yeah, he's not that country. No, he's super. He goes back to high school to lift. Like, he don't go to no performance center. He don't go to no institute. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and lift in front of these kids like I used to when I was 18. Ain't that the most country shit you ever heard in your life? Like, he out here donating to the high school so he can have a better weight room. That's
hey, that's the level of wealth I wish I had. You know, you know what I'm saying?
And that is good old down south wealth, because he ain't using that money to invest in stocks and to get richer. He's using that money to do some shit he want to do. And that's the kind of wealth I appreciate, right? It's like, yeah, man, let me go fix this road, dog. Like, that's what Nick do.
Let me go fix this road. It's crazy.
Yeah. Nick's big purchases ain't on cars, nothing like that. It's on stuff that he wants. Like,
hey, so Jonas said Ravens signed Derrick Henry trying to have a running back a caliber of Nick Chubb. Did not work.
You know why?
Kind of hating. I appreciate that. I appreciate that kind of hating.
My bad. Nick Chubb's from Cedartown, Georgia. Guess how many people live in Cedartown, Georgia?
Like 5,000.
10,000 people live in Cedartown, Georgia. By the way, on the border of Alabama, Jameis Winston from Bessemer, Alabama. Yes, I'm telling you right now, they are going to get along great. They are good. I bet they have high school rivals.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We got news.
What's the news?
Jordan Elliott to the 49ers.
Hey.
2 years, $10 million. Get your money, black
2
man.
years, 10?
Yes.
Hey.
Get your money, black man. Get your money.
Hey, Jim Schwartz is a hell of a coach, man. Jim Schwartz is a beast of a coach. They signed him for $5 million. We thought he was out the league last year.
Hey, good for Jordan, man.
Hey,
I
man.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought Mo Hurst was better. He only got 3.5.
Yeah, see, you know how Jameis is from a Bessemer. Nick Chubb looks at Bessemer, Alabama as a big city because they got 26,000 people in Bessemer. Ooh. Yeah, Nick Chubb got 10,000. Like everybody that went to high school with Nick Chubb knows him. like the whole town rooting for Nick Chubb.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
That's what I'm saying. So yes, those two will have a ton in common. A ton in common.
Man.
A ton. Yes. That is the buddy cop show I need. Okay. He's the unorthodox one who plays by his own rules. He's the no nonsense, strong but silent type. Together.
Hey, what's wrong with you, dog?
Tell me that's not a buddy cop movie you want to see.
Man, I'll watch it if it was on like Amazon Prime or something.
Nah, I'm gonna up it to Netflix. I'll watch an ad. I'll watch an ad to get through this. Yes. Yeah, I'll watch 3 minutes of ads to get this experience.
Like, man, I pay for the ad free. I can't do it.
I can't do it. We going Hulu?
Yeah, I pay for the ad free. I got to. I got to.
Sometimes I forget how out of touch I have become to some of the people I grew up with, because people was complaining about ads. I was like, ain't seen an ad on streaming in a minute, dog. I don't even care what the entry price is. The price for me is the no ad price.
I can't do it. I can't be sitting through ads. I can't do it.
Like Hulu only costs $7. No, it don't. It costs $22. Okay. That's what Hulu costs to me. I got YouTube Premium. I can't go back. YouTube Premium? Hey,
not yet. That's the one thing. So I don't be on YouTube enough to get YouTube Premium.
YouTube's my primary streaming platform of choice.
See, I can't do that.
I understand why people wanted us to drop an audio version, because man, them ads on YouTube, if you ain't got premium, are brutal.
It's so brutal, bro. We ain't trying to do that, y'all.
But I can't complain about it too much because it pays the bills. So I would be lying to y'all if I was out here like, yeah, man, it sucks for y'all. Like, nah, it's a two-way operation. I'm sorry, but this keeps the show going.
We just wanted to give y'all options.
Hey, man, you watching QnCOLB, you like QnCOLB, you gotta watch the ad, bro. It is what it is. Like, now you gonna lie to y'all. It's kind of how it works. But yeah, that YouTube Premium, that shit's fire. Completely changes how you use YouTube.
Man. Maybe I'll invest in it one day. Mm-hmm.
I keep on thinking, can I write it off?
You probably could. You probably could write it off, though. You probably could write it off.
I'm gonna write it off next time. I'm gonna write it off. I'm doing research. I'm doing market research. That's what I'm doing.
My biggest fear is that we gonna get off, and then Andrew Berry is gonna sign some. He's gonna make like some crazy move.
Let me tell you something. It's gonna happen. Andrew sitting in that office like, they still on? Yeah. Let's wait to drop the DJ Reader news till 8:30 at night.
No, you know what he's gonna do? You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna drop the news at like 1 a.m. or something crazy. And I'm be like, bro, really? Like, really, dog? You couldn't really
That's when he dropped Dalvin Thomas, and he dropped that shit at 3. I mean, at like midnight. Yeah, he dropped.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, bro. I'm trying to sleep.
So the Browns not trading for Justin Fields. Is that dream dead for everybody?
I mean, they could probably trade for him if they wanted to.
Why?
I don't think conditional 6 like 2025.
Jameis. Hey man, I want to see Jameis in the preseason. Like, this is what I care about backup quarterback for. Can you make the second quarter of the preseason game kind of interesting? And we're set up for a pretty solid preseason slate, man, because DTR is fun to watch in the preseason. So is Jameis. Let's bring back PJ for that fourth quarter. We set, baby. We set. We got a good slate. I might watch all 4 quarters.
You was gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna complain about it. Like I did when it was Josh Rosen and fucking Kellen Mond.
Oh yeah. As long as I never see Kellen Mond on my screen again, that's fine. Hey, Torres said, when y'all gonna get Domo on? After all the moves get made. Because Domo be freaking out on my timeline for the last 48
And then we gonna wait a month after that. They like all the moves, and then we gonna let him simmer all day.
Domo be so angry now.
But we can't let somebody be available. Let Chase Young still be available in July. Browns need to go do that.
Domo's like, look at all these other teams making move, and Andrew Berry just not doing nothing. I'm like, come on, man. He chilling right now. He not trying to overpay for people.
And the Browns got one of the best rosters in the NFL already.
Like he just doing what he's supposed to be doing. We're gonna see what happens.
We'll see what happens. They probably gonna be good. But that's it for QnCOLB. Shout out to all my auto workers. I felt like giving the auto workers a shout out today. Industrial. Did we shout out mechanics? If you a good mechanic. If you
good mechanics.
Yeah.
The good mechanics that don't be scamming.
Y'all be out here scamming, thinking I don't know what an exhaust manifold is. Nah. You're not on the QnCOLB team. That's not what we do out here. That's not what we do out here. You know, you got me out here trying to check your work because my girl thinks she getting scammed. Nah, dog. Nope. I know how much a brake pad costs. Like, don't tell me I need all 4 new tires. Okay.
Hey, real quick. Shout out the gym goers. Shout out all the gym workers. Shout out to everybody starting their gym journey. You know what?
You know what? I feel like there's a market for us to tap that we need to pander to. Shout out to my sanitation workers, because I imagine you just listen to a bunch of shit on your headphones when you out there working sanitation, right? Like there's got to be a big podcast market, you know. Like it's politics. Let's go talk to the garbage union to see if we can get some run for our podcast.
No, but for real, shout out to sanitation workers for real.
We trying to be the official podcast of garbage.
The official podcast
brought to you
garbage.
by Waste Management.
Hey, waste management might be a whole different thing.
Oh yeah. See, no, we can't be siding with waste management. We got to be with the sanitation workers of America.
There we go. Let's say waste management. That might be a different demographic.
They might listen to, the analytics over there, right? The number crunchers. There are podcasts that tell you running backs don't matter, and there are podcasts who fight for running backs to get that living wage. This is the podcast that will fight for the living wage at running back. That's what we are. That's what we are right here. Running backs get Saquon at $25 an hour.
This is not the pod for Marcus Mosher. It's not the pod for him.
might not be a great landing spot. This offense don't fit him. We run the ball.
We run the rock here.
We run the ball and we throw that thing. That's the offense. You know, it's a perfect fit, Jameis. Shout out to all my people who fish. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what are some high podcast activities. Quality control workers. Yeah, y'all be on them headphones all the time. You know, if you wiping down them phones at one of them plants. Let's see. Oh yeah, we need all our factory workers. You know, Amazon factory. I don't know. They let you listen to headphones at Amazon.
I don't know if they'd let them do it at Amazon. They'd be straight.
Hey, I know where they do. UPS and FedEx, baby.
Absolutely.
The power of the union. Okay.
Somebody said the engineers. Shout out to the engineers.
Animators, big podcast people right there. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the animators. Somebody said the weed smokers. Well, obviously.
Oh,
you know
yes,
what I'm saying?
yes. Well, we got that down. Yes. I mean,
what
other podcast in this city has you better? Please tell me that. Okay.
Oh man, did we shout out the EMS workers? I feel like we got to shout out the EMS workers.
Shout out the EMS workers. Shout out Rail.
Shout out Big Bro, man.
Shout out Rail. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. Appreciate Rail being in the comments. Shout out Rail. Yeah. Somebody just said, Oliver says this is the best podcast for us weed smokers, and you know that medicinal legal in Ohio now. So
absolutely.
So Canada Buddy, you know, yeah. Do we know the sponsors for the show? It's the Garbage Union. It's John Deere. We got a lot of landscapers. Okay. Shout out to everybody. Hey, look, shout out to Pickup Truck Nation. Shout out to anybody that has one of them cages hooked up to their pickup truck, because I know what that's for. I know that's for the riding lawnmower to drive off of. Shout out to my landscapers. Okay. Oliver
said he's from the UK. Hey man, shout out to everybody from the UK.
Oh, Ohio's recreational now.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, just like DraftKings came knocking. Once that got legal, I'm gonna need some people to be looking for some business opportunities, because boy, I could get you consumer to audience right here on this show. Okay.
High engagement
rate. Okay.
Hey, this podcast about to blow up. We get that sponsorship. Let me tell you.
The official podcast of Weed and Garbage.
Marijuana and waste management. Baby.
Yes.
We made it.
Yes.
We made it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
You know this set was brought to you by hemp. It's all hemp in here. But y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all. Oh, a UK shout out. Did we do that? Did we do a UK shout out?
Shout out to everybody from the UK. You know
hey, Insomnia Cookie, One Hot Cookie, wherever cookie joint that y'all know who y'all sell it to. Taco Bell. I need to come advertise with your boy. Okay. Okay. Arby's. Okay. Hey, and if you're in Cleveland, you know Rallies. Okay. Rallies really needs to advertise on this show, because again, you're gonna hit every single demographic you try to get at Rallies. Okay. QnCOLB needs to be brought to you by Rallies. Okay.
Oh man.
But y'all have a great one. Let Rallies know they need to sponsor you boys. Okay. But y'all have a good one. Have an even better night. Oh, Swisher Sweets, Arizona. You know, like
Swishers and Arizona.
Yeah. I don't think chat disagrees.
I don't think they disagree. Ain't nothing wrong with a good Arizona. Nothing wrong with a good Arizona.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard great things about grape swishers, you know?
All right.
If you are a manufacturer of a magnetic metal grinder, you might want to sell that on this show. You know, my emails are always open for business opportunities.
Close the pod, dog.
You know what, man? We need it. That's what our next piece of merch. We need to get a real nice QnCOLB grinder for tobacco.
Anyway,
all right. I'm done. But if you do know somebody who manufactures grinders, let us know. This is QnCOLB. This has been the free agency edition where we kind of talked about free agency, right? Like we kind of got to it.
You gotta get to the end. You try to talk about trying to talk about free agency. You gotta get to the end. That's all. You just gotta get to the end.
Honestly, you just gotta find the parts that we were actually focused to talking about our work. It is what it is. But y'all have a good one. Have an even better night. Peace.